Hey, you know it. I think they got some beer feed at the gas station over. I think they got a beer feed gas station out there in Davis. Where you go to Holloway Reservoir. What's up, Mr. Jeremy? Get some beer feed. Anybody got some beer feed? That's what we need to do. Bring it back here to the city council. And maybe she act right. put an apple in the stick. Hey y'all, listen, getting called, mine. That really like.
Just happy to stand here and do it for you for a second.
I'm gonna say it to y'all. Millie, what's up, Miss Davis? Millie, Sheldon. Hey, you can't come up in here with shorts. You can't come in with shorts. Not them. Hey, they say, hey, baby, no, don't come over here. Don't come over here and talk. Hey, Bill, it's not
Just application copies. I just got from the chart.
Hey, Billy, they say, love you, Billy. How you doing, Miss Weapons? I told you I am. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Hey, Bill, how you doing this, Elvis? I'm doing this. How you doing? How you doing? Hello, I never met you. Oh, that's what's up, Mark? Hey, y'all, listen. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to get this is an email. Hey, man, you ain't targeted yet. You ain't targeted. You feel good. Oh, wait, no. No, you're white. I'm sorry, but what's up, Miss Jones? I'm just saying, man. I'm glad it's something a lot. Tell baby God, hey, what's up, Larry? Sonya's there. How you doing? Hey, baby God.
You can leave it down there so you can see what's in another thing.
I just sent one maybe.
That's why I said, I really appreciate she gets some extra. All right, what's up, Paul? How you doing? I can see
Yeah, I sent it.
Here you go. Oh, man, as soon as you oh my God, that's Jen. As soon as you walk in here, my life, man, I've been sitting up here talking about it all day. Hey, my stuff is out. You gotta leave, bro. When you leave the ball, put up the damn thing.
Do I have all sign-ins? Thank you. Do we have all speaker slips?
Hey, look. Don't heard about Mott, man. Boy, they kicked it off. They shut down the Facebook Live. They shut me down. Let me see if I can work it from another phone. Let me see something here. Oh, you know what? Hey. Well, no, I know.
We're gonna call this Deputy Accountability Board meeting at 5:34 p.m. Tuesday, June 11th, 2000. Roll call.
Carol McIntosh? We have 6, we do have a quorum.
Okay. Is there the one? I can do a word of prayer before we read it. Here's an option.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord. We ask right now that you come into the room and that you give us not only a sound mind, but give us a sound heart and open up our ears and our understanding as we are here to do the business for the city of Flint. Lord, we thank you and we praise you for life, health, and strength. In the matchless name of Jesus, we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Next thing on the agenda is public speaking. The public speaker would have 3 minutes, and when you get to the 5 or 10 minute, 10-second mark, just raise our hands, you know, the time is up. Okay, here out there. So each public speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. Somewhere around the 5 to 10 seconds, we just raise our hand for you to wrap up. That would be our signal that you need to wrap it up. And with that,
Our first public speaker, are you ready, Mr. Chair?
yeah, go ahead.
First public speaker will be Arthur Woodson.
Mine is that, I'm not expensive.
Mr. Woodson, would you like to speak? Make sure you speak up since we don't have mics.
Let me say this. We got serious issues going on here in the city of Flint. With the council and mayor's office administration. For the life of me, I can't understand why this board and city council is going after one of its members. The last time I was at the city council meeting, this board meeting, you all was talking about how Billy was, how it looks unethical and everything. But when I looked, Mr. Harris, your mother done got the most grants from ARPA funds. You came down there and spoke for the council to give your mom ARPA funds. Now, do you work for your mom's church where those ARPA funds are going? Do you get paid with those ARPA funds? Because now that is unethical and that might be criminal. Ms. Young, don't pal get money from the city and then you stand with the mayor for the financial literacy. Now that right there looks unethical. Billy just stood at the city council expressing her opinions on, as a resident, how she feels about Eva Worthy. To me, that doesn't look unethical. But y'all ready to punish her for expressing her feelings on how she feels as a resident, but y'all getting money from the city. Or somebody that y'all know. And then you came down and spoke for the story too. What I see, and you know, like the Flint water crisis, the lawyers in this, they got $46 million. People in Flint, 4 years later, still haven't received anything. Then y'all just got a settlement for $25 million, and the company has an insurance policy of $900 million. Why would you settle for $25 million? Why do you all keep on putting yourselves before the residents and making sure that y'all get paid and everything that y'all do, but the residents don't receive anything? The residents has not been made whole yet. Even with the ARPA funds, has any roof or heaters or anything been done for the residents yet? Hold this administration accountable like y'all trying to hold Billy accountable. They are going against charter. They are making up rules as they go. I just got arrested last week for a rule that wasn't even on the books. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put in a complaint and let's see how y'all work on that one. Let's see how quick you work on that one.
Your time is up, Ms. Wilson. Thank you. Next public speaker Mr. James Moore.
I, James Moore, promise to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I'm here as a witness. Now, you can watch film, and you can listen to audio, but if you were near to feel the fire breathing from the dragon's mouth, it makes a difference. So I would highly recommend, if you guys have made your decision, to go carefully. Maybe you should come from the Ethics and Accountability Board and come down and spend some time at City Hall, because it feels like apartheid ran under Lyndell Lewis in her presidency. She is singling out people. She is singling out. I watched Arthur go to jail for being in the public hallway, and within the same 60 minutes, we were out there with more people than he had, and they didn't even say be quiet. Can rules change that fast? Because if so, it should be going through the Ethics and Accountability Board. You guys gotta get active. You know, I said when I first came here in 2 meetings, what does Ethics and Accountability stand for? In Flint, it should stand for something, because Lyndell Lewis is out of control, and I think my 3 minutes is up.
It's not up, but are you concluded? All right, thank you. Next speaker, Ms. P. Taylor or R. Taylor? P. Taylor. E. Taylor.
That's right. So, good evening, City of Flint. My name is Ms. E. Taylor. I'm here to support Billy. I have found her to be highly ethical. I have found her to be nothing but a person of character. I think you're fortunate to have her on your board. However, I do question some of the same things people that Mr. Woodson has said. Mr. Harris, I was at the council meeting where you stood in line and solicited funds for the young church. However, you never identified yourself that way. That seems to be unethical. Ms. Michelle, you came to city council soliciting funds for an organization. I don't find that to be ethical at all, because you take your position to create the power position to solicit from those that are being paid under the table, except we keep finding out about them, that are receiving our monies unethically. I'm not so sure how the Ethics and Accountability Board is working, because the city doesn't recognize you, but you got a city attorney here who belongs here. You've gone ahead and hired your attorney to be here because you already know there's some level that he shouldn't be here. And you know that the police are at city council. Let me tell you what they do at city council. None of you watch, I'm sure. First they pledge allegiance, then they pray, and then the police come in. There is something very unethical about that. But you are going to take all your attention to Billy because some very large person, other large person, has decided that they're going to put a target on Miss Billy. However, they cuss, lie, get money under the table, do all kinds of unethical things. But you, as a board, have chosen not to do anything about it. And you know about it. You know about the fact that the city attorney shouldn't even be in this room. Yet, you listen to them. Your attorney even defers to him. When I was at the last meeting, they were confirming. What is that? Many of you have been appointed by a city mayor. Questionable. That looks compromised. Looks like that's unethical. But you don't want to deal with yourself. You want to click together as a group and focus on doing it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I have 5 more minutes to talk
You have
about
10 seconds.
10 seconds? Well, I feel like you should stand up and swear raise your right hand and be honest tonight.
Your time is up. Thank you. Our next public speaker, it just says River. Okay. So, would you be willing to give your first name, or you don't want to?
Ramirez.
Just River?
Yeah, sure. My last name's Ramirez, y'all need to know.
Okay.
Born and raised in Michigan, grew up in Livingston County, and then moved to Flint in 2020. I'm here to speak on behalf of Billy as well. I'm newer to following local government, but it's always been kind of an interest of mine. I've been doing student government, student groups, peer activism, starting third grade, all the way to college. Excuse me?
I'm sorry, but you move your mask, because I can't understand. I have my hearing aids, and I can't understand what you're saying.
I can't hear you.
I know, but I'm not building out what you're saying. Go ahead and speak if I don't respond, because I don't know what you're saying.
All right, that's fine.
I didn't understand you.
Okay, so I was just giving you a little resume. It's not that important, so I'd rather know now. Anyway, my whole point is I feel very strongly about local government, community, being a part of something larger than yourself in a way that isn't defined by what you get out of it. And so I knew something was wrong shortly after moving here, but like buying a house, all my stuff got breaking, all my plumbing, it was really weird. I wasn't prepared for, the corrosive water, like the treatment of it, taking out my pipes that much faster, even though I have good pipes. So I couldn't pay attention to the government. I knew something was wrong. I kept seeing news about airplanes getting thrown out. I would look up stuff, and it was stressful. It was that very triggering. Like, people that have experienced abuse, you see it, you know. And so I had to stop paying attention until recently when I found a 10 news media group who I credit for finding anything out in any verifiable way. I went to college. I was paid to go to college. So I know how to look things up. I know how to find facts. And I know when things people are telling me don't match up. And so I started attending meetings and I started seeing budgets that don't line up. I was treasurer for my LGBT outreach group and ran fundraisers that pulled in the most money outside of our highly publicized drag show. I did fundraisers that pulled in the most outside of that. And that was 20 years ago. So I know what I'm talking about. I might know what I'm talking about when it comes to connecting with the community, building trust. We connected the youth in high schools. We had a big gay prom back in the days where it was a little more difficult to be gay. So if you couldn't attend your prom as you were safely, we had an event at university. And that to me is public service. What I'm seeing, I don't know what it is, but it's disgusting. It's a mess. And I've seen Billy standing for the correct, the good, the community outreach, the youth education. She made me feel like it was safe to come into the library. For the first time in years, after having a traumatic library experience, which sounds silly, but when you're autistic, it matters. So, to come to council and see that somebody that I immediately identified as a safe person, and I saw her getting all my books on the Flint water crisis, and that civil rights report that was done on the Flint water crisis. She made me feel safe enough to go research there, because I knew somebody there was going to stop me, somebody there was good. So, don't take that from this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next public speaker will be Ms. Allison Montgomery Littlejohn.
Good evening. My name is Allison Montgomery Littlejohn, and I am here to express my extreme disappointment with the Ethics and Accountability Board's sleepy, lethargic, and next to nothing response to the multitude of concerns about the unprofessionalism of some of the government officials by both city council members and community members. We are still waiting on you to check Flint Administrator Ed Taylor about his unethical behavior. What happened to holding Mr. on? Why not hold Councilwoman Lewis accountable for her niggardliness? Why not hold Councilwoman Mushat accountable for her nastiness? It wasn't until the infamous white supremacist devil, Doug Matthews, showed up at your front door with his shenanigans that you all began to express concern, despite Councilwoman Burns' consistent complaints of his racist harassments that she received from him. You all ignored your Black Christian sister and left her to fend for herself. How unethical. We need the Ethics and Accountability Board to be warriors like Ms. Billy Dancer and like Ms. Carol McIntosh, who refuse to prostitute their integrity to Mayor Neely and his promises of fame and money. We need a board to stand 10 toes down on the side of righteousness. Just like we encourage Ms. Dantzler to defend herself against the continuous bullying and harassment on her job by Councilwoman Lewis. We, the people of Flint and Genesee County, will continue to show up and speak out against the harassment and corruption of city council and government officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next public speaker will be Baby Doll.
I'm here representing Billy. Yeah, being unfair, before this case came about Billy, we had an issue about councilmen and people threatening other councilmen. But you know, one councilman, she gets to get a ride because she got threatened. But she's always threatening other people on the council team. She gets a ride from the police department. It ain't what I say, it ain't what I heard, it's what I seen yesterday. From Myrtle Street, going on Clyde Road. And then she get a ride home. But this lady is causing a lot of issues. She starts a problem, like one of the boards said on that board. She is the issue, but when she starts the issue, she don't want nobody to react to what she does to other people. Now, I'm going to stand up for my city, whether y'all like me or not, I don't care, because I'm not scared of none of y'all either. I put in a complaint about her, how she did me last year. You guys never even brought it up to y'all meeting, none of that. And I took it to Nellie's office, like they said, we got to go through Nellie's office, and then they sent it to you guys. You guys never even got it. I did my little checking grounds too, so I still have a copy of it at home. But my thing is, Billy that day, when Lewis said that she said something, Billy was on the right-hand side of the chamber. The problem started on the left hand of the chamber. It wasn't even Billy. She got accused for something, and then she went there saying she coming in as your group of people. She was there as a resident. As I know as the law, if you come in as a resident, you have the right to speak up. She didn't come in as her job. She came as a resident being concerned too. She lives in the city of Flint. So my thing is, y'all got other issues before this. You need to put that on the back burner and make a decision right with her. Because you got other people that should be in front of y'all, should be getting out the door. And y'all allow them to cuss people out. You allow her to call people bitches. Y'all allow her to be able to go to Southwestern Academy, disrespecting those kids. And nobody's doing nothing about it. I just want to know who all getting paid not to do nothing. Because it seems like she's the only one that y'all not doing nothing about. But when it comes down to the resident and all of us, she want to put us out. She want to get us arrested. I don't care if I go to jail. Because if I go to jail, you guys gonna owe her pay. Because I got stuff on y'all. And so at the end of the day, y'all better watch how y'all treat people. Residents have a right to say whatever they want to during the time. If you can't take the criticism, don't be in the chair. Because your position, you're going to have criticism. You got to take it. That's the position of all of telling the truth. From the councilman to y'all guys too. And he got this little racism man. He kissed at everybody for men. And then yesterday, at the close to the end, he did things like nigga, nigga, nigga. And I heard it and I took offense of it because I've been in the racism around real bad. So I took it personal. So the lady that worked for Davina had to grab me because I took it personal. I don't do that racism. You allowed Doug to do what he wants to. He disrespected you. And I mean, when you told him, hey, you can't do this, and he kept on talking him and Candace like you wasn't even saying nothing to him. So once y'all let him get away with stuff, he's going to continue until y'all put your business down. Okay? Now it's time to stand up.
Thank you so much. Our next public speaker is Rose Morrow.
Hello everyone, I'm Rose Morrow, and I live in the first ward. What I witnessed, I said I was going to a couple things.
Ms. Morrow, can you speak up just a little bit,
Oh, you
please?
can't hear me?
I think Mr. King.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I'm Rose Morrow, and I live in the city of Flint.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I haven't started your time yet. Go ahead.
I'm Rose Morrow, and I live in the city of Flint. The last 2 council meetings I went to, it was a shit show. It was, the things that took place was illegal. I witnessed him being arrested, Arthur Woodson, who did nothing. I was there, sitting there up front, not that far from where Liddell Lewis, the devil, was sitting. And when she started, she didn't even do anything, Miss Nancy. She was sitting way on the other side. I'm very observant. Now, I should say this first. I'm a former law enforcement officer, 29 and a half years. I left as a lieutenant. I held the rank of sergeant because you know you gotta go up. The shit that goes on, and I talked to the Flint police officers. I talked to Sergeant B. I asked him, why do you guys allow this? Just like you arrest the residents and put them off of disorderly, the council is more damn disorderly than they are. The residents are just want to be heard. They're hurting. Nobody's listening to them. I have told council this. And I'm not one, I don't walk body shaming or anything to anybody. But right is right and wrong is wrong. Just like I told Sergeant B, just like you put us out, you need to go up there and start making an example out of everybody. And you need to start with the devil, Liddell Lewis. Okay? If you arrest one of them one damn time, that'll stop this. I said, why don't you do it? He said, well, I'm trying to let the business of the city get done. That's bullshit, because nothing is getting done. We know the city's corrupt. We know a lot of them ain't doing nothing they supposed to. And they stole all the money from the residents. But I asked him, I said, just like you're doing this, don't you understand you are violating people's federal rights? You can be sued, not just the city, you personally can be sued, civilly and criminally. You can lose all your stuff. Arthur Woodson didn't do anything, and I'm telling you guys, I swear, I was sitting there. It wasn't her. It was somebody on this. I was on the left side of the room. It was somebody, a lady back here. And I told them, when she started yelling at her, she was calm as hell. She started off, all she said was, and you can all watch the video, she said, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Why are you saying my name? Liddell Lewis instigates that shit on purpose. That's what she does. I have watched her single people out, call people's name. Hell, she came after me, but the shit didn't work. Because you know why? I'm smarter than her ass is. I know how to get her. Okay? I do it the legal way. And she goes, it's a lot. I hope ain't no pastor here. But once you keep fucking around with people, you're going to fuck around and find out. That's right. Okay? I just wanted to speak up for her and Ms. Dancer. It wasn't her. It was not her. It was somebody on the other side. Everybody tried to tell her that. But she didn't want to listen.
Thank you. Our next public speaker will be Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I just came to set the record straight. It wasn't Billy, it was me. But she didn't catch me talking, so she couldn't single me out. She liked to catch you, she catch you, she wanted to throw you out. But it wasn't her, it was me. That's all I want to say.
All right. Our next public speaker will be Audrey Muhammad.
I wasn't there, I didn't get a chance to witness it, but I've seen it and I saw enough yesterday. False accusations. Again with Arthur Woodson yesterday. Said he was causing everybody to talk, it wasn't him. It was another gentleman who kept telling her it was me. It wasn't him, it was me. But she insisted because she had a problem with an issue with Arthur Woodson. Like she had a problem with an issue with Billy Dancer. I've been there when she's done that with Mrs. Dancer. It's a shame. And I know you all say there's nothing that you can do. But if there's nothing that you can do with her, why are you trying to don't leave Billy alone? Because Billy really ain't caused a problem. If you really want to know the truth about it, the audience really didn't cause a problem. She is a big problem. I mean, even yesterday, even the lies that she insists to say that Dennis Pfeiffer called her out and called her a monkey. To me, in my humblest opinion, she's instigating a race riot or a race war because she's trying to make it seem as if someone white has said something about her to make it where blacks will be mad at this gentleman because of his race. That's called a race riot. That's instigating. Any of you all, like Ms. Rosemary said, she worked in law enforcement. I at one time too worked in law enforcement. I was working in a prison. So I know what we used to do. We used to walk in the door and we'd say, well, you gotta be quiet 3 times or whatever else, and we're gonna put you in the buggy. As soon as they started talking, we already told you 3 times, now you can go in. That's how we used to do it in the prisons. I'm just telling you, I know what my coworkers did. I'm talking about 30 years ago when I was working there. I was working with juveniles. So I know how biased and unfair that can actually be. It's not right. But that's what I can see her doing. Even after she was told by Quincy Murphy, I can't remember if Leon had told her, but several others told her that she did not give us a thing 3 times to tell us that we was going on to the next resolution. She was insistent. She said, I don't care. I still said I said it 3 times. And she was told by even her colleagues that seemed to side with her. She just did not want to listen. And she wanted to be right, which has been the problem all along. She just wants to be right. I myself have been singled out. When everybody in the group was talking, Candace singled me out. Candace is a problem too. She's a problem child right along with Liddell. She is. They both, the whole city council, it needs to turn over. There's something that has to be done, something that can be done, okay? Something that can be done. We need to, I don't know what it is you can do, but somebody needs to think about something that can be done with that council up there, because the citizens are tired. We're gonna make a change there too. Y'all get something up.
Thank you. Our next public speaker is Ms. Lottie Direct.
Hi, yesterday, I'm gonna speak on the meeting, just previous meetings and what's going on. So yesterday with the police thing, that's really, really getting out of hand. Somebody, listen, I want y'all to pay close attention. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody is going to get hurt because Liddell sets it off, people are angry and frustrated. Then when you give a comeback, she say, police get them. Like yesterday, people talking, she say, I need you to stand here and I need you to stand there and watch who's talking. I'm 46 years old. You can't tell me to be quiet. You can tell me not to be loud or ask me to, like Judy told somebody to shut up. You don't tell nobody to shut up. That alone will make me angry. That alone makes you angry. Talk to people with some respect. If you want respect, you gotta give it. Respect is not a given, it's an earn. So, besides the police things, Liddell, she looks up at you and try to find out who she gonna pinpoint out to who she gonna mess with. She started a lot of stuff. The same thing she tried to slap Billy with, if that ain't her to the T, if that's not Liddell to a T, it's like, whatever y'all say, like she said yesterday, it don't matter, I got my 5 votes, it's gonna pass anyway. Nobody should feel like they that much in control, that they can do whatever they wanna do, and it's fine. Then I have to look at this board. It's fine. I mean, what is y'all's purpose? I'm still trying to figure out if we don't have an Ombudsperson. 2, I guess that's supposed to be the person that take care of council. We don't have her yet. So then y'all down from her. So now y'all ain't doing nothing. So the mayor working with her and the police, because if not, they wouldn't jump every time she says she do. That is scary. Every time I see one of them, I'm starting to get anxiety. I shouldn't feel like I have to have anxiety when I see the Flint police. I'm at the point now where I want to start a campaign just to get rid of them. They're not doing nothing to serve their purpose in this city. Besides
and just admit she was wrong. Everybody can't be wrong with you. If it's 1,200 people mad at you, it can't be the people. Sometimes you gotta do a self-reflection and be like, self, you're a problem. Calm down. But ain't nobody holding her reliable. Every time Billy blink and they come down here, y'all want to put her on the chopping board. It ain't right and it ain't fair. You cannot do that. You can't shoot the mayor and then shoot at the deputy and then say, well, he the mayor. You can go to prison for shooting at the mayor. The deputy, well, I guess he just mad. That don't matter. Wrong is wrong. You gotta get the council in order first before you begin anybody else in order. You can't get the trash out my backyard and your garbage up to the ceiling. That's right.
That's right.
Our next public speaker.
They put people out for clapping their hands.
She put that in there.
Dumas?
They put her out for doing this.
Okay, can we have the floor, please, Mr. Dumas? The floor is yours.
My name is A.C. Dumas, and I'm disturbed. What happened yesterday when a white man called black individuals nigger, nigger, nigger. I talked with, and as you all know, I am the first vice president of the NAACP.
Facts.
And we take that very seriously.
Facts.
Not only did he say the word nigger, 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 but he blew a kiss to Mr. Woodson and another gentleman to inflame the audience. It was wondered last night the garage didn't break out. It was terrible. And I know some of y'all politicians. And I know who y'all hang with. I know who y'all support. I know who you support. And when you close your eyes and let things rise, then you will have a problem. The lady said something that my mother used to say, bless her soul. She used to tell me when I was a boy, everybody ain't wrong.
That's right.
She, I'm sticking up for me, and she would say, boy, everybody ain't wrong. Now, with reference to Ms. Dantzler, I was sitting on the side that she talked out. I was sitting there. I heard who said it. Ms. Dantzler was on the other side. I was there. It's terrible. Something is happening in Flint. And it's going to happen. It's terrible. So I don't know what this board can do. I asked the last time I was here, what's the purpose of this board? I just want to know what's the purpose of the board. Maybe y'all tell us your purpose, other than the charter statement. I think when we get 5 votes on Flint City Council, that they put in a charter amendment to the people.
That's right.
To the people. And we need to change the charter. And as I go to my seat, yes, people on the Flint City Council are getting recalled. That's democracy in action.
Our next public speaker is Mr. Rich Jones.
I got a question for y'all. When are y'all gonna do something about the jail rules?
That's right. All right now.
Y'all can instantly call Miss Billy up there. So why don't y'all do something about her going on her job and threatening her?
That's right.
Oh, well, we need to deal with that. We need to deal with that.
Let's let him have the floor, please.
I remember the first time I ever came to an ethics and accountability board meeting. I I came with Eric May because somebody had made a complaint against him and instantly, y'all had him up at that, y'all was meeting over in the other building. Instantly, y'all had him up in that room. But y'all didn't call him up in that room when he got jumped on.
Right.
Y'all have been at city council meetings, witness the madness, and still ain't done nothing. Soon as somebody hit y'all bench, y'all ready to chop her head off.
So let's talk about it.
We don't. I'm about to cuss. I'm not gonna cuss though.
Appreciate it, thank you.
But like Mr. Newman said, and I asked y'all before, what is your purpose? I remember, because I was head over heel against them appointing, especially them 5 people, led by the Dale Lewis, put somebody here in May seat. And the answer that I got is, if they don't do it, they gotta go in front of ethics and accountability. I'm like, that's the poorest excuse you ever get for not putting somebody in that seat. That's the poorest excuse you can ever get. Because y'all ain't done nothing. Nothing. Like real talk, y'all really called Eric. It's been so long, I can't remember what y'all called him up for. But y'all called him up like, Eric, where we going? We going to the African Accountability meeting. And y'all up there was ready to get this. And I remember at that meeting, you was the vice president. Or the president, I'm not sure which one you was, but you was like, we had a great meeting with the mayor. He's gonna fund the Ombudsman office. Everything good. And then he said, but he said the previous administration shredded the resolution. Eric May said, Miss Arnez Brown, don't we got that resolution? You know I'm not lying. Don't we got that resolution? Oh yeah, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And she went down the hall, and in 5 minutes came back with the resolution that you had just stood up there and told the people was shredded.
Your time is up. You want to wrap it up?
You can give me time to wrap it up.
All right, but all I'm trying to say is, y'all name speaks for itself. Do what the meaning of your name is. Hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Councilwoman Tanya Burns.
Ma'am.
Good morning to all of you. I appreciate for you serving, and to my appointment, I will absolutely be here because I feel she's being targeted. Yes, I am. That's right. She's being targeted because she's a 6th Ward appointment. When I was in the hallway right after Mr. Woodson was arrested and headed to the elevator, so I was right there. Billy didn't give me a chance to say what she said her, Billy Dancer, of ethics, and she says it all the time. We have rules, councils, that we cannot say a person's name. She abuses this every single time. Someone is put out every single meeting, someone is arrested or put out, and people, that's a place where you go to, you're traumatized. You're traumatized. Now, her language, I talk with Billy, I support her, but you keep triggering someone, something's going to happen. She told her, that's your warning. She said, but I didn't say it. That wasn't me. That's your second warning. You can't do that. And she does this in the council meeting. She takes the floor illegally from me all the time. She takes the floor from Dennis Pfeiffer, from Jerry Winfrey Carter. And she's now being rude and terrible and mean and nasty to Jonathan Jerry.
Facts.
She doesn't take a minute. She continues to instigate and to agitate. And that's how she moves. It's so many things that I am concerned about, because if you're coming here as a public, professional time is not the same always as ethical time. Those would be 2 different people.
got what they give me in check. But when you are constantly badgered and went after, then you're gonna get tired. She has put out in this room, Arthur Woodson, baby down. She's put out Miss Terry's mother, LaWanda Terry. She put out Miss Liz, and then accused Miss Liz Taylor of something that did not happen. She allowed, and excuse my language, I'm gonna cuss, because they're their word, when she let Paul call her a dumb bitch. Rose, I think you got thrown out before.
No, we just went out.
You just went at it. Rich, I bet Rich every meeting that he's gonna get thrown out 3 tacos and 2 margaritas. That he's going to get thrown out. Because he's not even talking. He doesn't even talk all the time. And she breaks out. Well, you get thrown out every meeting. I mean, and Miss Beverly Lee gets thrown out. I get thrown out. I get thrown out. I can more seconds. Yes, ma'am. So what I'm saying is, we have to look at behavior and it has to be changed. I don't know what this board can do. But we also need, I do need to say this. We had a public hearing, and according to the Flint City Charter, every person must be heard. I don't have my charter with me. The public hearing should not be able to move forward. She did not allow the public to speak. She did not. It's on video. I don't have my charter with me, but we cannot change the ordinance or anything unless there is a public hearing where the public is heard. That's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next public speaker is Ms. Beverly B. I'm sorry, did I say your name wrong? Is it? That's my name. Okay.
I'm here because of the fact that Dale Lewis put me out of the Kennedy Center. She told the pastor, if I'll give you $50,000 of the ARPA fund money, if you put Beverly Biggs out of that center. He put me out, but like I told him, that didn't bother me. Because all he had to say is move back for a minute, I'm trying to get this money. I ain't got no problem with it. You know, because I want him to get what he got coming. But I had my great-grandson was a 2-year-old that died. And she said that I'm getting my karma. I don't think where karma's in the Bible. So she don't know the word of God. She have cussed out Pastor Thompson. She have gotten mad at Pastor Murphy because of the mere fact Art Woodson asked him to pray with him. She figured that he wasn't supposed to do that for Art Woodson. Liddell has a problem. And if you guys don't see that, it's something wrong with y'all. I'm just being honest. Miss Dancer didn't say a word, and she kept saying, I didn't say nothing, that's your second one. She goes after people that she thinks that she can bully. And we all know it. You know, she put out there, my grandson should get the highest penalty. Look at here, he's been out here sitting for Eric Mays, and he's a murderer. He didn't murder his son. The son got hold to a gun and my nephew left there.
Right.
So when you don't know, you shouldn't speak on it. You're just going by what you think. You know, it doesn't bother me because I know the word of God. God knows what he wanted to do with that baby. Because he could have left him living and been a vegetable. But God chose to take him on home. And when you know the word of God, you don't question his word. But Liddell Lewis is the devil. And if y'all can't see that she's the devil, there's a problem. Who gonna reprimand her? When she cussed out the pastor, when she tried to fight with the 3 men in the council seat, who's reprimanding her? You guys is letting her get away with stuff. She come and snitch on everybody else, but she never snitch on herself. Have you noticed that? And a lot of you up here, well, not a lot of you, some of you up here have got that 501c3 money for your mother's organization, for, you know, you shouldn't make a difference. If we out here supposed to serve the public, we're supposed to serve the public. And that's what it's supposed to be like. You look at Quincy. Quincy go on his mother street, and it's really nice on Marengo.
Yeah.
It's really nice. But he does nothing else for any of the residents of Flint. That grass is up so high, it's pitiful. And we need to wake up and get these people out of these seats and start doing what's supposed to be right for the citizens of Flint. Thank you. Thank you.
Public speaker, next item on the agenda is responded by the AFA members. Will allow you within reason at which time you need to respond. If we go over that, I will remind you. Any member want to speak?
I'll speak. So I just want to thank everyone for showing up and expressing what you feel or what you have seen, and I appreciate it. And I just hope that this board takes into consideration what the public has shared with us so that we can start making sure that we hold people accountable, right? Because that's what we're supposed to do, right? So that's what I want us to do. Nobody should go to a council meeting. Nobody should walk down the street. Nobody should go on their job and feel harassed. Nobody, right? This is we live in America, the land of the free. And that's how we're supposed to operate. No one controls anyone. And I have a big problem when people try to control me because I am grown and old enough to control myself. You don't tell me how to talk. You don't tell me how to think. But I can work with you. I can negotiate with you. But you don't control me. And I want our ethics and accountability board members to take all that into consideration because the people here has took time out of their schedule, out of their busy day to come and express the things that are going on. And I hardly ever see any of my members or my colleagues at the council meeting anymore. And then when I do see my colleagues at the council meeting, you guys are down there asking for funds, and now I'm questioning, why are you guys coming at me? I don't ask the city for nothing. Everything I do on my own, and I work for myself. And I don't expect that from everyone. That's just what I do. Okay, I'm not affiliated with any organization. I do not have a 501c3 257. I don't have anything. I respect my councilwoman because she asked me to, she appointed me to this position, and I told her I would. My past council member appointed me to a position, and I did what he asked me to do. So I just want us to do better. Don't pick on me. Because when you pick it on me, you're messing with the wrong one. And I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I can get along with anybody, but when you come for me as a group, I'm coming for you. And it's not a threat. That's just how I feel. And I don't care if I don't sound professional, because I don't have to, because I'm me. And I want everybody to remember that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I will speak.
Anyone else like to?
I'll speak, if you don't mind.
You got to speak up.
I understand where Ms. Dassler is coming from. I abandoned the city council meeting because the last meeting I went to, I held up a sign, and the next thing I know, city council was talking about removing me. Okay? It was just because I held up a sign. We specifically got signs because I know I am a hothead, I am boisterous. So I know the situation I'm in, so I took the liberty to try to do peaceful demonstration. And I was targeted. Okay, so what that did was make me stay away. But I heard about the crucifixion that I have witnessed over and over again and have also been a victim of. Going on with Miss Dancing. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna leave her out there by herself, because I remember a time when she wasn't on the chopping block and I was, and she stood strong with me. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I think about Mr. Mays and some of the atrocities that was committed against him that I could never get some votes to support me with on, because I'm down for whoever is breaking the rules, upholding them. If I like you, I'm gonna beg for your grace and mercy. Okay? Okay, but we all have to stand accountable. All of us. All of us. And we are all humans. It's okay to be honest about making some bad decisions or making a mistake. If you falsely accuse a resident, you don't stand on it. When the person that done it and witnesses around them are saying, this person did it. Okay? We are fair on no level. We are fair on no level, and we have to get back to that. Ms. Dassler is a target. I have seen some of the things that I was there last night. It was complete mayhem. It is not just the audience. I spoke to this board about constitutional rights being violated over and over again. Okay, we're gonna start at the top of the rules and the laws. You have a right to peaceful assembly. Okay? You have a right to speak out against government during peaceful assembly. Freedom of speech. The First Amendment, I got the charter out one time when we had a case before us when that situation happened at the other place, and it was stated, the administration run this. That was political, and I took you to the charter and pointed that out, along with some other things, and we did nothing, like I explained to the public. Even when somebody is doing wrong, and that's where the corruption come in. And you can't hold certain people accountable, but you dead on somebody else, and like you said, you're moving right to the front. I've been waiting for some of them letters that we voted on, and some of those people to come before us. It just don't happen. So I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like we making it happen. I'm on this board. I try. I don't always get it right. But at some point, we do have to call everybody out. Everybody. If we want a professional city council meeting, we gotta start with city council. How can you expect more from the residents than the people that's asking for decorum? So that's all I have to say.
I just want to say thank you for coming. I appreciate your concerns. I'm listening. One of my things is I'm a listener. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I'm a doer more than I am a talker. We are working on our processes. Whether a person agree with the processes or not, they need to be upgraded. There need to be some changes done to them so that they work in the way that they're supposed to work. I heard, I think it was Art talked about the charter needs to be updated. It does. It is there is a rule that says it has to be updated every so often. I think it's 7 years or 10 years. But anyway, I'm here for the work. I don't speak a lot, but I will do.
Mr. Chair. So I just want to clear some of the insinuations that were put out here regarding conflict of interest as it relates to myself. I did speak at a city council meeting in support of the North Flint food market that is 90% complete, asking for them to provide the additional funding so that that store can open on the north end of Flint. However, I have no financial ties or connection to that project. Nobody paid me to do that. I did that because I grew up on the north end, and I believe that that is needed on the north end. But that doesn't mean that there's any sort of conflict of interest. There's no financial connection to that project. As it relates to Flint Pale, I do serve as the executive director of Flint Pale, but I am a volunteer executive director. The Flint does not pay me anything for all the time and work that I put in to bridge the gap between law enforcement and youth in that city, because that is something that needs to be done. And I'm not getting paid to do that. So I would appreciate it if you don't throw out the insinuations that are unsupported by fact. I'm speaking, Mr. Wilson, I have the floor. So I just want to clear the air that there is no conflict of interest. I do want to say I appreciate all of the comments coming from everybody today. I hear a very common theme. I hear a common denominator. And I don't know that any of you have actually filed an official complaint for us to investigate. Please, let me finish. But I will say that we as a board have the authority to initiate our own investigation. So we don't have to have a complaint, but it does help when you actually put your concerns and complaints in an official format for us to act on. And so that's all I wanted to say about it. But I do hear your concerns and I hear your common themes.
Hold on. We stood up and listened to you all, and we did not interfere with you say anything. I would like that same courtesy.
You actually did interrupt me.
I would like
Before I
this,
asked.
I would, yes. I'd like that same courtesy to this board.
I want you to open to find this information. I missed that. This could have been very accessible and easy. Thank you.
I said it looks unethical. I never said you took any money.
So next,
I said it looks unethical.
I called them and
So I
never
didn't
returned
make
my
any
call.
insinuation that you took money.
I'm done, yes, thank you.
I want to say thank you for everybody for coming out. This is the democratic process, and it is true. When you are, whether you are an elected official or an appointed official, there is some amount of criticism that does come back, and you have to be strong enough to take it. So I completely understand it, but I also have been taking notes, and I, like Attorney Young, I'm looking at a common theme as well. And so, but also, I want to clear the board as well. Yes, I did go down to support the funding of the R.L. Jones Community Outreach Center, where we feed over 1,500 houses a week with people. So the money that was requested was for food to continue in feeding people. That's what the R.L. Jones Community Outreach Center on Dyke.
Ma'am, please, you cannot, this is not a dialogue. Please let him have his comments.
I'm struggling to understand.
You still have to let him have his comments, please.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, the money that was asked for was to continue in feeding and funding and doing what is necessary for people to get food, for people to get water, for people to get personal care items. That's what the funding was for, because we have to always go before city council to get funds and to things of that nature. So I went there in supporting of the R.L. Jones Community Outreach Center to get the funds in order to continue to operate and do what it needs to be done. I'm not receiving any money. Whether you agree with it or not, I have my own way of getting my own funds. I work for the publishing house of the Church of God in Christ. I am an ordained minister. And the fact that you want to insinuate that what I was doing or even going is unethical because I'm supporting somebody that is doing what is necessary for the community. Bottled water has stopped. We continue to give it out on Thursdays. So I was there doing what I thought a loyal, not only as a son, but as a citizen who did walk in the pods, who did toss water, who did work in core and went door to door and installed filters and did filter filtration, who also worked on AFN, drove the yellow Penske trucks and delivered water to households in the city of Flint. To insinuate that what I was doing was unethical, because I've always stood up for the city, especially when the water crisis hit. I've always worked hard. But to insinuate that it was unethical because I was doing what was right for somebody to get funding so that food can continue and people can be fed, that's where I draw the line. But I just want to say, you know what? It is what it is. But I'm big enough to take it. But I do want to correct it out there that that's exactly what I was standing for. But again, I hear everything that you all have said and the way that you have expressed yourselves, And it's something that I am definitely going to be taking a look at in the future when it comes towards how council, especially you mentioned how Councilwoman Lewis has launched out and attacked people in the public. So that is something I don't have a problem with and taking a closer look at as well.
And for the record, I said it looks unethical. I didn't say y'all.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. That's a struck a nerve, definitely. It's a really struck a nerve, man. Because I didn't say nothing about them taking them.
Mr. Wilson, could you please?
Well, I'm not something.
No, I'm not going to disrespect you, but I would like for you to get through. I'd like to get on with my meeting. I'm not going to have people talking over each other. And I won't try to, my voice is not that loud, so I'm definitely not going to talk to you. I'd like to thank you for you coming in. I hear you, as I say at the meeting, I hear you, I understand, but one thing we ask is people say, what do we do? Well, if we can't report to the charter, we here to enforce the charter. It's not our job to run the council. We don't run the council either. We do not make decisions, we would make recommendations. We can make recommendations when it comes to that. And there is things that we need to run through. And we'll try. But I heard the thing come up about why do we have a city attorney here? By the challenge, the city attorney is here to protect the city and all boards. That's part of their job. That's come under the charter for the attorney office. And they're not here to be bothered. We're here to ask for any question we have, interpret it, not to tell us what to do. That's not what we do. And we do not have to take his advice if we don't think it's quoted right. One, I see a lot of things come up here at the last night meeting that I hear a lot of you talk about. Most of them are not privileged to that, if we went at the meeting. And, so, we hear you, you're telling us what went on there. But what we do, we're not here today, particularly a board member, because we don't have any idea what that was about last night. I do have some things sent to me when I was out in California last week, the week before. People said something that they had a problem with. But we do not run the city, we do not run the council, we're not going to let the council run our meeting. We're going to do our own meeting, we're not going to do theirs, but we would look at whatever we can do by the charter of legal. We would look at those things. If we can, we move on. And it doesn't matter. I understand how separate some of them are. A lot of things I see upset me, but there's really not anything that I can do about it. And when we find a way to do those things, then we move on. And with that, I'm not going to spend a lot of, there's a lot of things, and you all basically talked about the same thing. And we heard you, we understand it, and we will try to work and see what we can do for the residents. And that's the best I can do. A couple of you, I can't. I won't reply on it because I couldn't hear you that well. So with that, that's my response to the public. We're going to move on.
Is that right? You're not?
She said you're not gonna do anything, that's what she's asking. Are you gonna do anything about the deal with the way the council's behaving, some of them?
You mentioned that some kind of
Let me move on here.
Ms. Young said they can initiate an investigation, but they have complaints for.
They also can initiate.
Let me,
Yeah, according to their rules.
hold up. Oh, we don't want to start that. I would take your questions, personal question out, but not, if it's not dealing with my agenda right now. I hear you.
When is it time for you to do your job?
We are not.
I'm curious, because I would like to collaborate with you on when that would be the appropriate time. So do you have office hours in which we can ask you to do your job? Because I heard a lot of things you don't do. But I'm actually very interested in solutions and the process and procedures to change things. I would like to know these rules about the charter. What are those rules about?
Next thing on the agenda is my open remarks.
If you're going to waste my time, I want to show up.
Because I got a lot of interference that I won't do open remarks, we're gonna move to the next item, which is review, anything to add on to the agenda.
But Chair,
Yeah.
I want to add something to the agenda, if we have time.
Yeah.
We got a few people that left the board, and we don't have we have a few people that left the board, and we have a few people that has not appointed anyone to the board. So I wanted to discuss what we can do to get them to move forward with the appointments.
So you want to make that part of new business?
Yes.
Item number 4. Discussing appointments to the board.
No, we have a new council person. I don't know if you know that he don't have one, or if he has someone in mind. Just a reminder.
Yeah, I'll put it down for added.
I think it's 3 missing, right? 3 plus, yeah.
And
Mr. Chair, I wanna add something to the agenda too. And I wanna know,
hold on. There's acoustic in here loud, people, so we hear everything on the loud.
So I wanna just add, one thing I wanna add is about, the age. We need to know what age, a person, is there an age that a person can be removed from council?
Age?
Yeah. Not how long they've been there, but,
Time.
yeah, the age, like under 18, can you remove people out of council meetings that are under the age of 18? Is that considered, I just want to know more information.
Go ahead, Julie,
Yeah, let's
we'll let the legal handle it. So that'll be addition 5.
So I guess my question, what I want to say is there an age limit that council cannot remove an individual or a disability, that they cannot remove an individual from the chamber?
Yeah, we put it up for discussion.
I'm sorry, what did you say about a disability?
Age and disability.
Age and disability.
Right.
Okay.
And other changes, addition to the agenda.
And then also I want to add, I want to do a follow-up on some of the complaints that we received from several community members. And also, I think we need to discuss or put on the agenda, how do we handle someone like Mr. Matthews, who come in and harass people.
Billy, I'm sorry, follow up on previous complaints?
Correct.
Did you specify a particular complaint, or are you just saying in general?
Well, I didn't specify, but I don't know.
No, I'm just asking so the
Okay.
record is clear. Follow up on previous complaints?
Correct.
And then what else?
And also,
About Mr. Matthews, or language? What was your second issue?
right, discuss some of the disorderly behavior with the rest, yes.
We probably want to do the discussion, what you want about the complaint,
You got it.
Ms. Nell, do her report?
You can come up over to the table, he talking sideways.
Talk out this way, they can't hear you over there.
Well, I'm talking to my board member.
All right, well,
Billy. Would you like to discuss the complaint? You'd like to do that? Ms. Nelson, she did a report.
Okay.
this one.
That's fine.
We won't put that on this. We'll leave that off.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me just, if I can make sure I have the minutes right, Billy, add to the agenda discussion of age and disability of people who can be removed from council meetings, follow up on previous EAB complaints, and discuss disorderly behavior at council meetings? I don't know if I got the last one right.
I think so. We can play with it because I don't know if I expressed it, I can explain it right.
Okay. Were you specifying Mr. Matthews, or were you being in general? I guess that's.
Well, I guess a little bit of both. Because we can't keep letting that type of behavior enter into the chambers or enter into the dome or, so something, there has to be some type of boundary that we need to set for an individual like him.
Mr. Chair, can we pause for a minute so I can ask them to step away from the door, because it's loud. The conversation back there can be heard in here.
Testing. No, you need to use it.
And what are you reading? Okay, now, change it to the agenda.
You have a hand, Mr. Chair.
Did we ever find out what was going on with the budget?
That's on the agenda.
It's on here? You got the numbers to it too, or no?
What do you
Wait,
mean?
you might be talking about a different budget. Which budget are you talking about?
Y'all gonna have to pass it. I swear.
She's talking about the EAB, the budget for the EAB board. What other budget? Because we only have one.
No, we don't have no, we don't have that.
Okay.
We got to discuss that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have.
Did you want to add that?
Yeah.
Can we hear y'all, what y'all saying?
I asked them about the budget for the EAB board, has it came before the board? And they asked me which one, because it's something about the budget in here. Because there's something about a budget in here, but that's not the budget I'm speaking of. So I'm trying to add the EAB board budget to be included tonight's meeting as well. Thank you.
All I want to do is make sure I got what you want to ask the agenda.
Don't say it down, pass it.
budget to the agenda. So can we add that as item number 6? Or do you want that under old business as item number 3?
It's really called business, and then it is business.
Okay, so let's go ahead and under old.
Well, you know what? Why don't we start
Mr. Joe, we can't hear nothing you say. We can't hear that. You're public, ain't
They don't care either.
That's why we're actually doing the mic so that they can talk about what we're discussing. Because they want to
So this is,
I'm not worried about, I want to get to the agenda. Yeah, that's no concern to me now. What are we into the agenda?
We added the EAB proposed budget under number 1, along with the budget deadline for city council.
Okay. Get on add-on.
Any other add-on?
Or interchange it. If not, I will entertain a motion to set the agenda with add-on 4, add-on 5, and in addition to 1, which is discussing another budget.
So move.
Second. Moving proper second to set the agenda with add-ons. All in favor? Say yea.
Yeah.
Opposed? No opposed? We move on to review and approve of the minutes. Now, I was called by Ms. Booth, who did the last minute. She was not able to get those ready for today, and they would be, we had them at the next meeting. So, we don't have the minutes for the last meeting. In that case, we move on with next item, Ombudsperson report.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to say that there are complaint forms available up front here. There are complaint forms that are available outside the Ombudsperson's office. You can also call to make a complaint. The phone number, which I will get put onto the complaint form, is 810-237-2020. You can send an email to the Ombudsperson at cityofflint.com. Again, that's Ombudsperson at cityofflint.com. The phone number again is 810-237-2020. I will say that I'm happy to say that today we did have an analyst to start. He wasn't able to make it tonight to meet you all. So with the services and the return calls and things like that, that's definitely going to be picked up because for the last months, I've been, doing my best to get back with you. And so either way, the doors are always open. You know where the Ombudsperson office is. It's back here, straight to the back, like you go into the light. There is a buzzer just for confidentiality because if you're sitting and you're meeting with us in the conference room, you don't want anybody just to walk in and see you there or hear your confidential information. But the office is readily available and open to everybody. And as you can see, the board, EAB, the results from June 1st, the next couple of, from the last couple of days, today is the 11th. The complaints that have come in thus far, it's been kind of slow because a lot of people concentrate on the council stuff. But we got the blight complaint, the city council complaint, and the water department complaint. The water department complaints have slowed down also because they have put out resources that say that they will be able to assist some of the residents that did receive those $2,000, $3,000 bills.
So they're just waiting on results from that. I reached out to the, church, city clerk, and the city council members in reference to the wards that need appointments for the EAB wards, the open wards at was Ward 4, Ward 7, Ward 9. I CC'd each council member along with Ms. Donahue. Also, the Human Relations Commission's appointment, because there are 5 appointments, but the wards 1, 5, 7, and 9, they need appointments also. We're going to start getting things together with the Human Relations Commission this month on the, there's going to be like a meeting, we just have some dialogue, not an official meeting, but an official meeting will be taking place next month with the Human Relations Commission, and at that time, we'll have the appointments, and they'll be able to elect their officers and everything for that meeting. And that's
Can you give me those wards again that the Human Relations?
That wards of Human Relations is 1, 5, 7, and 9. And this is a follow-up email. This was sent out Friday, June 7th. And we got the
City Council, yes, or 7.
One mayor appointment.
yes, and you want me to, due to the recent resignation of Ms. Williams, we have one mayoral appointment for the EAB. So that should be added, and I'm sure the mayor is aware because the resignation letter went to him also. So as of today, a resignation letter has been accepted from Ms. Williams.
Can we ask you for the we are order
So quick question. With wards 5, 7, and 9 not having appointees, are they still able to have forum and meet and discuss business?
1, 5, 7.
I'm sorry, excuse me, 1, 5, 7, and 9. Does
That would be 5. I was not formed to have an official meeting. They're just doing like a meet and greet. And there are actually some members of the Human Relations Commission that are reaching out to other people in other wards and going to recommend them. I had a few people to the council person in that ward, somebody that they think they know some people that are willing to serve on the Human Relations, because the services and stuff that the Human Relations offer, there are some crucial things with discrimination, housing, and stuff like that, and it does need to get started. So, yes, we need those appointments so that we can carry on. So hopefully, in July, it will be an official meeting, and it will be posted, you know, and everything, they can elect their officers and stuff. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
How many people's on the Human Resources?
It's the same amount. No mayoral appointments, so it's 9.
It's 9?
9 to 9.
Okay, so they 5 should be formed.
5 should be sufficient for one.
Okay.
But they'll wait before they elect the officers and stuff.
Okay,
So again, it's like a meet and greet and set some platform. Not an official, no decisions or anything like that, or anything. But the meeting in July, it will be an official meeting where those council people make an appointment or not. Anything else?
Any questions?
I'm sorry, did you already ask?
No, I think I should have brought this up under the changes to the agenda, discussion item, where there's so much stuff. I just noticed some cameras out there and stuff, and I know we, in the hall, out there by her office over there, but we've been wondering why people don't want to put no complaint in. You can't have cameras.
Right.
We gotta discuss it, that's what I'm saying. Not right now.
Well, we still talking about that. We'll talk about it now.
We asked the question, just recently of last week, there's been cameras placed on the Ombudsperson's office and on the, in the hallway. Whether they're working or not, we're not sure. But what they're saying, what he stated, that they may refrain people from coming to the Ombudsperson's office to make it. I'm sure not the public, because they probably don't mind, but it will be a problem with the employees. Because if you're coming into the Ombudsperson's office to file a complaint, your job may be in jeopardy. But let me tell you this, and I've already discussed it, that's not a problem. If they don't want to come, I'll go to them. I go to them. We have somebody in the office for right now, because I do have a support system in the office. If an employee or anybody want to make any type of complaint, we can meet at Tim Hortons, we can meet anywhere. But I will come to them.
Can complaints also be filed online?
Complaints can be filed
Or email?
email. That's what I gave the email address. Complaints can be filed by phone or email.
So,
But I don't know what's going on with them. Nobody said anything. I just know we stopped and put them there. There it is.
I'm sorry.
It should be open.
But this how they.
It shouldn't be locked. No, they probably locked it at 7. They probably did.
I wanted to ask, and I understand that we have so many other avenues that they can file a complaint, but I still want to know, by way of Ms. Gilman, through the chair, is it anything lawfully that we can do? I think that's a violation, actually, because I recall us talking about operating in exclusivity for a period, because everybody does not have a computer or know how to work technology like that. I think it's asking a lot of Ms. Shasta when she has an office, and people really for it to be here. Y'all know my position on that, but that's another conversation. But at least not have them on camera. So by way of the chair to Ms. Gilman, somebody with legal experience, if you don't mind, because Ms. Trish Shell is relinquishing her legal authority at this table. So since we have Ms. Gilman, can you give us a professional opinion on that?
Is it, okay, they locked it at 7. So somebody,
Open and put a rock in it, stick or something?
Attorney Gilman?
Oh, you want a professional opinion right now?
If you have it.
I'm supposed to operate based on some research. However, what Ms. Shasta said, that's how I would operate. I would put it out there, send a notice out that there are cameras, and say we can meet anywhere. That doesn't have to be in the office. And you want to know where's the feed of the camera going to? Who's watching? And why didn't you get some kind of written notice about what it's for, what it's doing? Of course, they could always say, oh, this is for security, but how long have you operated without cameras?
those cameras were put up last week.
Yeah. Right.
So about a week and a half.
A week and a half.
So again, how long have you operated without cameras?
For 5 years.
Thank you. So is there some other type of security they can put in place that provides security without violating confidentiality and anonymity?
I think what has really happened now is now it's got court set up in the basement. Got two black court. When I came in today, when I come in, when I was in early this morning, the sign that said black coat is already set up in the basement. The sign is there now. And if they're doing court that now, that's probably why they come each year. I don't know for sure, but that's what it seems like.
Mr. King, if I may, at Black Court is held across from the human resource. They don't even, because you can't even gain entry unless you have a badge.
Well, I'm not sure, I'm not sure that is. Human resources in the basement.
I'm saying you can't get through that door without a badge.
But I mean, I'm not saying,
I'm saying
that's a possibility of why you do that, because you have to have all exit covered to get into the court. I don't know. We haven't discussed that. We haven't asked, legal. Joe, you have any idea on that?
No, I think at this point I don't have anything additional beyond Attorney Skillman's comments. I think we do need to do some more research to determine who monitors those cameras, because I frankly don't know. I don't know if they're even online at this point, in addition to what Attorney Skillman stated.
Well, we have to give you something right into give us a counsel on on that?
I have it in my notes.
You have it in your notes, okay.
That's what I was about to ask you. Normally, when it comes down to security, normally, when you're working in a building and it comes down to the installing of security measures, normally, IT security themselves will send out an email letting everybody know, hey, new security cameras are being put up in these locations for such and such and such a purpose. But you're saying that you never received an email in regards to, about the cameras going up at all?
No.
Okay.
We just all being installed, myself and the light department.
She called me when
And I called, yeah.
Okay.
We just were installed.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, so just to Attorney Phelps, I know you're gonna do some research on it, or Attorney Skillman. The concern I have is the Ombudsman's office is supposed to have confidentiality and supposed to have anonymity if that's what people want.
Right.
Having cameras up there 24/7, in my opinion, is a clear, blatant violation of confidentiality or anonymity. And so I would ask that you look into those aspects, because I don't see how you get around. If they wanted to find out who's going there anytime, all they need to do is consult those cameras. So that's a concern that I would ask you to look at it from that perspective as well. And if there's lesser means, if it's a security issue, as Mr. Julian just said, is there a lesser means of security? Because you can have motion detectors, you can have other triggers aside from actual camera video footage that's aimed at that door. Is it covering your door?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
And
problem.
That's a problem. I have a bell that you bring to get it access into the office, and so does, light. You know, if somebody's by themselves, you know, they have to, when you can bring, you know.
And if it's an issue, maybe she needs to relocate.
Does it take during City Hall hours, do you have to use your badge to come in through this door right here?
Yes, that's employee entrance. You have to use your badge to come from the outside. And also, where the restrooms are, those new doors that put up, you have to use your badge to go beyond that point.
Okay, so.
Then you can come out, you can come through there, like for instance, you can come through City Hall, come through the elevators, and you can come out. But like if you come even to the Ombudsperson's office, and you say, okay, well, I parked on the other side, I have to walk you to the door and with my badge and let you go back. To prevent you from walking all the way around the building if you park in front of me.
Now, are those doors in front of the elevator? So like if you came in through the top and then went down the elevator, oh.
They're right as it separates.
You're on
No.
It's just the light office.
It separates the Ombudsperson's office and light office. You do have access to go upstairs. I think there's tax. Building department. But anything beyond that, you have to have a badge to get beyond that.
So, Joe, also, I want to know also, this would be a good question to ask. If it takes a badge to enter into the building, then again, why is a security camera needed when you gotta have to have a clear badge in order to get into the building? Or if that's the case, you still have to contact the ombudsperson to let you into the building in regards to that if you're coming to make a complaint. So again, I don't understand why we need why cameras are there.
Because most of the time when somebody is coming for a security complaint, I tell them, you get in the parking lot, give me a call, and then I'm in the door.
Well, what about the rats?
Even you all, when you come, I'm like, okay, call when you get outside.
Question, so,
Vicky and Minnie has went on vacation.
They go
Okay.
home and
So
find
far.
out where the rats.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, that's an issue.
What is out at for? Actually for?
They do.
So that's the thing, I don't know.
No, I know.
We want to wait a minute. What do we want to do?
So Attorney Joe, if you can actually, when you're doing your research, find out if there's audio as well as video, please.
Because a lot of people still catch you in the home, catch me in the home. I walk them out, you know, it's still talking. It's just a sign that's right there that says no video. We tell them to turn off their cell phone when they come in for an issue of complaint, they go and record them. You know, like after you turn off your electronic device.
So I have a question. What about the telephone? Is there any recording or has the telephone been tampered with? Or you don't know?
We don't know. That's why most of the time when you get a phone call from me, it's on this.
Is that your personal?
This is their phone, but now I don't know if AT&T think this is important enough to record it. But that's the case if it comes up any type of FOIA or anything, they can have this phone. This is their phone. So most of the time when it shows up, I'm calling you from a cell phone when I have to go into a discussion about anything.
But you're uncertain about the office?
I'm very uncertain about that because we had that concern before. Like we'll talk about something and it may come up somewhere, council meeting and stuff like that. So we don't record too much.
Oh, or same thing, we've called your office and they rerouted. They do, they reroute you and will say, well, I'm trying to get the ombudsperson, and then they'll try to reroute you somewhere, but then they don't give you the individual that you're asking for, and I'm saying, I need the ombudsperson's office, and they're like, oh, well, what do you need with, then they'll ask the question, well, what do you need with the ombudsperson? And it's happened to me because I called anonymously, and it happened. So, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
If we don't have this.
Don't have what?
Ombudsperson.
With security issues, cameras, and the public not even actually get into the ombudsman office, I guess the discussion should be, and I know we, I can tell you that. We should be looking at how do we make this comfortable for the public. I mean, it's bad enough the public can't get in the door. And cameras, it seems to be everyone's concern.
So I have a question. So what about the key? Like, is that a locked and secured office where only you may have a key and maybe one other? Does other people, I mean, how do the maintenance crew come through?
That's questionable because all the originals, they claim that there are in the ombudsperson's office. So what I do a lot is close the ombudsperson's office from the other office's security. I close that door. In a few instances where maintenance need to get in and do a few things, they say they don't have. So that's a question.
So what about as far as like the internet? Is there security?
I have seen some stuff lately that
It's questionable.
it's questionable. You know, it's questionable.
In her office, she always
So,
some little funny things, sometimes you look at the email, and I have looked for an email that I know I got from somebody, and it's not even there. So, I mean, they work for, you know, I just question it's just not.
question, since we're on the reports, you and I, we were at the budgetary meeting. Did finance get with you in regards to the, trying to get you the copy?
Same thing, resent the quote again.
Right.
The person from IT emailed me again, asking what did I need. I said the same thing, follow up, okay, well, I hadn't heard from my person from, whatever the company we're using currently. I don't know, mine went blank, but they, nothing.
So I mean,
Still no copy.
So they're saying that they haven't heard from the rep that represents the
Xerox,
company?
they want to go, because the city has a contract with Xerox.
Right.
So they've been waiting for all these months for somebody from Xerox to respond. Because I stated, Mr. Julie, he recommended somebody, the young man came, he gave a presentation, I sent it to finance,
What did finance?
each time I send it to them, they send it to Jeff in IT, and he responds back to me, this little, what do you need? You need this, I answer the questions, send it back to him. Then I sent a follow-up a couple of weeks ago. He said, my Xerox guy hasn't got back with me. Let me reach out to them.
Okay, do you think you could, do me a favor, Mrs. Little, do you think you could, get a copy of all the emails that you also sent out to IT requesting, since the budgetary meeting and since the CFO said that there was not a problem with us getting it? I
sent it to him and, his assistant, because that's what he was saying, send it to post up, yes.
Right, that's what I'm saying, make sure that we send all those emails and copy them to the board, that way we can and attach them, that way we know that you're still corresponding back and forth. I'm not saying that you're not, but I want to be able to see what all is going on, because they said in the budgetary meeting that they would actually do it ASAP once the budget was passed. We know the budget was finally passed, so now I just want to make sure that you have the copier in order to do anything.
Yeah, I have my paper.
Okay.
Okay, there's no more questions.
I got a comment. From what I'm hearing, every facet of our process may be compromised. Every single one. We don't know if the phone line is secure. There's cameras. We don't know who all got keys. We don't know nothing. No thing. And then
Well, one of the things, they do have a security guard upstairs. They've hired a security guard.
upstairs, no.
They do like 9 to 5, they come in uniform. There's uniform security guard upstairs.
But what about the privacy issue? What about, because, and I remember when we was doing our budget, and I tried to.
But that's what we were talking about.
Did y'all include it? Because I was trying to get y'all to include it.
Well, see,
and we voted on the budget and it wasn't included.
Well, see, that's what I was trying to figure out, because when I saw the budget in regards to it, because I know we asked for money allowance so that we needed to move our office off-site for these very reasons, but when the budget passed, I don't know if it made it in.
No, it wasn't in there, because I asked about it in a meeting. I noticed when it came back before us, it was way low. And it's not going to afford her an off-site office. And I was questioning you guys about that then, because I have been asking for exclusivity for the ombudsperson since I got on this board. And Mr. King knows that. He's been here since the beginning, and I've always, because how do you expect people to trust the process?
Well, I'll say this as well. We were also told that we were going to get a call back in regards to the budget as well, and me and Mrs. Little were going to also deal with the simple fact that they had not put into their line item about us discussing about moving the office off-site either. We never got a call back.
So what about an amendment to our budget? What about that?
The only thing I can, from what I was told, and I believe so, city council can still allocate those funds that we're requesting in order to, if we need, to move her to another office off-site. But that's what I was told, the city council can allocate those funds.
What's the likelihood of that?
Only thing I can know is that if we go down there and force and actually get on the agenda and talk.
You need to find somewhere that you can go.
Right.
You can't go down there and say, well, we want to go there.
Well, that's true.
Wait, because Ms. Shasta was, go ahead, Ms. Shasta.
In my report, my hand they wrote with this, if you would, the last budget meeting, they tried to chop up what we did ask for.
Yeah,
I asked us to let's go way over because we know.
Pure minimum.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they said they were.
Yeah, we wouldn't, I don't know what the council voted on, but if we got any money, if the council didn't add it any more to it, or they took it out, they had to find it in the budget.
Well, let me say this, because there's certain things that your charter requires for the ombudsman to have in order to operate. So that's all we got is the 250?
It's actually a little bit more. They increased it to like 375, but
I don't recall it being that.
But what the amendment is when you look at it, actually, it's paying into, you would think that it's the budget increase, but it's actually kind of paying into the pension.
And I thought that that was supposed to be separate, and I thought the city picked up the pensions. I don't have my charter before me, but I know, is it a match or something? I don't know if her office is supposed to be carrying the whole pension. But I remember them getting some funds from the ombudsman's budget for some health insurance or something for somebody else. So now if they can cut into her budget for some help, we gotta revisit the budget.
Yeah, but that's what the increase was for, just because they were saying that everybody has to pay into the pension.
There's nothing in there for that.
That's
what I thought, there wasn't enough in there.
May I? We're getting into what we're gonna discuss next.
All right, I'm sorry.
Let's hold on her report. Next item on that is dealing with the budget.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so no, we did take it. Did I take a vote?
No. To accept her report? No, we didn't.
Well, I would entertain a motion to accept the budget report.
I move that we make a motion to accept, excuse me.
Okay.
to accept Mrs. Little's report.
Have a second? The motion proper second to accept the Ombudsperson budget. All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Opposed? Yay, carried. I will move on to the new business, and that new business, first thing on that item one, city council violation of the city charter, budget deadline, and discussion on the budget for the Ethics Accountability Board and the Ombudsman Office. First thing I would, and you can chime in, the city council budget is a clear violation. They know they violated it. We went through a lot of process last year that wasn't, we had the right to do it, but it wasn't no expense. My thought here is we write a recommendation of something that the city council know that they have violated the charter even though they have passed the budget now. We should send a recommendation letting them know that they have, that there's a violation of the charter, not having that by the 1st of June. That's my thought. Someone else might have some better idea. I'm letting them open the hearing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the second time in a row that the budget has not been passed according to the charter. Last time we did do an investigative hearing, and we had a couple of council members wrote in their response, and a lot of them did come to us to respond as to why the budget didn't pass the first time. And I can understand it because before they were over in the county building, and I think they limited them to 9 o'clock. And I think that's where that came in, along with some other issues. But this is the second time that this has happened. And I do know that the mayor submits everything by the 1st of March. He has to, so they've had the budget since March. And so my question is all right, once you receive that information, why don't they start going into budgetary hearings? Because if we look at it, all the budgetary hearings were held in the month of May, right before the budget had to be passed. And normally you would think that there would be 1 or 2 or 3 different meetings in regards to the budget, so that you could have a discussion. That's just me.
Anyone else?
May I?
Yes.
They probably didn't have any financial meetings concerning the budget because they weren't planning on balancing it anyway, because they unbalanced the budget and a no-bid trash contract that's gonna run the city over by way of $2 million. So that's probably why they didn't, because they didn't want that to come out before the budget, so they ran the clock out on the budget and pressed their colleagues to try to press them in a corner, to force them to yay an unbalanced budget and then pick up this extra $2 million. We have to be honest with the propaganda and what we're seeing before our eyes, that shows a major, major breach of derelict in your duty. Flat out derelict in your duties. And they obviously, just my opinion, as an Ethics and Accountability Board member, knowing what the fiduciary responsibilities are, I'm thinking, what would make me do something like that? Knowing that the public and the community is, their dollars on the line, they're watching me, what would make me do something like that? Only if I never intended on doing the work, no way. That's the only explanation for that. Because if you know you're going to be held accountable and you want to do the best job, there is no way you find out that it is an unbalanced budget and the CFO admits openly in a meeting that they don't have the numbers, was supposed to come back with the numbers, failed to do that with the clock still ticking, which forced the city into passing an unbalanced budget. That's just from my investigation.
There you go, that's right, that's right.
As an Ethics and Accountability Board member and as an investigator on the Ethics and Accountability Board, that is my findings.
Anyone else?
Yeah, so I'm just asking a question. So do you think that we should, request that the council person that's over the, budget, should we, subpoena them to give us a reason why?
Yeah, good idea.
Should we subpoena them and actually give them a reason why?
Or at least request. Let's start with request.
I think subpoena.
We'll go with that too, because you know how to do it.
Because this is the second year in a row that this has happened. So what does 2025 look like if 23 and 24, they are being irresponsible with the city's money?
2 years in a row.
You were making a request, Ms. Dancer, I couldn't quite hear you on this end.
She was asking a question, Mr. King.
Oh, what was it?
Can we request the chair of the finance committee from the council to come, the chair and the CFO, and give us an explanation on why this budget is allegedly unbalanced and it violates charter.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, that's a motion.
Support.
I have a motion. Second on the floor. Discussion.
So let me just be clear for the record. The motion is to subpoena the finance chair and the CFO of the city?
Yes.
So the admin, you want council's finance chair and you want the city's finance chair?
Correct.
Yes.
Let me make a correction to that. We can't do a subpoena until we make a request.
Okay.
We got
I'd like to
request.
amend the motion. I would like to amend Ms. Billy Danzler's motion and make if I may. Okay, so she's agreed to let me make an amendment to her motion, Chair. And I'd like to make that amendment.
Amendment to the motion.
And
Yes.
also want to open up an investigation.
That means I got an amendment I need. I need to get a second on that amendment. Repeat that. Repeat that amendment.
Okay, the amendment is to make a request for the city CFO of finance. Oh, well, no, that's her part. But we're making the request first because the subpoena has already been supported. So let me do it.
You making
So she's already got the support, but we didn't vote on, do we vote first on her motion and then the amendment?
So I want to.
Or is it the amendment first? Okay, so.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Okay.
We'll get that.
I just want to be clear. It's advisable to request first. It's
Well,
not
that's what
required.
that's
I know, but I just want to be
okay.
clear because he said it's required that we ask first.
Okay.
It is advisable, and I certainly would never send somebody a subpoena without first asking because
Well, we want to.
You don't have to, but I just want to be clear, if she wants the motion to be subpoenaed, it can be subpoenaed. If you want it to be requested, it can be requested. But it's up to you. We should request it first, is all I'm saying, but it's up to you.
And I get that, and the reason why I want to go ahead and do the subpoena is because this is the second year that they have, violated the charter. So, now we need to,
Let's put it this way, down at CFO, and who else we had in there?
Finance chair for council.
The chair did not violate the charter, the council. It was the council that violated the charter. Not the rest of the people, those don't violate it. So I don't.
And I want to make an amendment to open an investigation.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
You got too much going on.
Okay.
Wait, so I need to know what you're doing with you gave her permission to make a friendly amendment.
Yes.
Did you rescind that amendment or?
No, she was.
I know, but then she said she didn't want the request, she
said she wanted to do a subpoena.
So do you want to keep your amendment to
No,
request?
no, because when she changes hers to she wants a subpoena, I'm gonna change my amendment to and include an investigation.
So I just want to be clear here that you understand that only the council violated the charter. So.
Well, wait a minute.
Why would we need?
Excuse me?
So why would we need who?
The CFO and the finance.
Because may I speak to that? May I speak to
Well,
that?
you talking about the finance chair of the council, and you talking about the finance of the city.
He's talking about the city and the finance chair of the council because the city CFO told the council that they would get back with them with information, which they never did, and ran the clock out on the situation and made the board vote delicately in the blind for a budget that was not valid and never came back with the information. So I would like to ask how come they didn't come back with that information?
And plus, the CFO said that, on the record, something in regards that they use the finance chair, numbers to handle the budget, so they both.
Council had an obligation to do that, to change those numbers and make sure they have a budget. Now, they could make it, council could have made it a change they wanted. Process is they make the change to the mayor, they can vote on it. If the mayor decides he don't want to sign it, he can veto it, and they can bring it back. I'm just not
Well, let's.
sure that anything that don't have to do with the council, it's not a charter. I don't see where anyone else would have in a part of that. Even though they sent it to the council, it's not valid. It's up to the council to make sure that happens. So, we're still in discussion.
What happened to the microphone, Mr. King?
I don't know if I really.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No. I don't know if
I can hear you now, I'm not going to do this. I can say it.
Okay. I don't know if I really clearly understood what you just stated.
Say it, okay.
Yeah.
What I was saying was that the mayor do a budget. You send it to the council. First of March.
I'm tired, man. I got PTSD, man. Y'all got to talk, man. God, dog.
He cut off.
The mayor sent his budget to the council the 1st of March. It is the council duty. It's the council duty to take that budget and go through it. Anything they don't like in there, they have the option to take it out. They have to change the budget. And when they do the budget, they vote on the budget by the 1st of June. Supposedly, it didn't happen. And they send that budget been adopted. The mayor had opportunity. He he have to do it. If he don't like it, he can veto it. And it come back to the council if they want to override it. But they are the one who violated the charter. The CFO did not violate the charter.
But the CFO stated, Mr. King, but the CFO stated that he used the numbers that the finance chair had recommended for him. So I think both of them need to come before this board and give a legitimate explanation on what's going on, what happened.
Okay. So, anyone else want to discuss?
Yes, I do. Because my question would be then, if the CFO of finance for the city doesn't play a part in this, then why are we paying them? They have a responsibility to check some numbers too. And the council, maybe they're not, because the CFO should have a certain accounting, education, numbers background. The city council does not. So I think it is the CFO and the city council's finance person and the city council's responsibility to get together as a team to work for the city, to get the budget balance. And I think the CFO plays a part in saying, you don't have this many dollars to do that. That's how you get the budget balance. Somebody has to let you know you're out of whack with your spending or how you're doing things. And I would think that would be the CFO, the city CFO over finance. I would think that would be their responsibility. That's, now I'm no expert on how the city operates, but I just fail to believe that the CFO over finance for the city does not play a part in budget. And whether they do or not, they are supposed to be intellectually inclined in this area, so we need to hear from them too, because I know for a fact the city council requested information from them that they were not given, which may be the reason why they weren't able to do their job in full capacity. So instead of one step in and one step in and one step in, let's get everybody together at one time and get it together.
Anyone else?
So I just want to say that I do think that it makes more sense to bring the CFO in. If you think about when we had the discussions from last year's failure to adopt a timely budget, council members came in and said part of the issue is they were not getting information and numbers back from the administration. And that held them up from being able to do what they needed to do. And so because it does take a team effort, if you will, the administration has to give council what they need to do their job. And it's a holistic picture, so it doesn't make sense to only start with half of the pie. So if we're gonna do an investigation, it also shouldn't be limited to just them two. It should be any other council person or department head or person from the administration that has any information that we should take into consideration.
That's why I was saying that it's interesting because this comes out in budgetary hearings. Because when I got a phone call saying that this was gonna be your budgetary, this was when you were gonna get your hearing, this was when you were gonna get your hearing. I'll use my preaching voice. And so I was concerned because I thought it was rather late in the time. Why would you be asking us in May when you knew that within 3 weeks the budget had to be passed and trying to get everybody through? That's why I was asked, that's why in this investigation, because I agree with Rochelle, Carol, Billy, I agree with you all, because that's why budgetary meetings are important with committee, with finance committees, because if you have a budgetary meeting and they started in March, if by April you knew that you didn't have the numbers that you needed in order to make sure a decision, that meant that you had a month's time in order to get everything together so that the budget could be passed. So, that's why budgetary meetings are important. But again, I agree with the investigation. Hopefully that all comes out in the investigation.
Any more discussion? No. No more discussion? Can you read what the motion was?
The motion on the floor is made by Ms. Dantzler, supported by Ms. McIntosh, to subpoena the City Council Finance Chair and the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Flint regarding the failure to adopt a timely budget, with a friendly amendment to request an investigation on same. That was added by Carol McIntosh and supported by Mr. Harris.
Okay, the motion we're voting on, if you're voting for the motion, you vote yes. If you vote no, you're voting against it. Roll call. Roll call.
Ms. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Julian?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Dantzler?
Yes.
Myself, yes. That is 6 yes,
6
0
yes.
no.
Motion passed. Any more discussion on topic one? Budget.
Yes, sir. It was what Carol was speaking to earlier about the board's budget. I don't know why. Was our budget sent in, was the board budget sent in at the same time that the ombudsman's budget was submitted?
Yeah, we had. You
Not
said,
the
oh, that was a different.
By the time the budget was sent to me,
They had already
so
did.
it kind of looks what they had already done. It went in too late.
So what we need to do is put together an amended budget to present to council to amend our budget.
Okay.
Because I don't know what they gave.
They didn't give the board anything.
Because the board budget came from me to forward after the mayor had already adopted what he was gonna do. When I sent it forward, it was too late. The deadline
We
was
missed
gone.
the deadline, I remember
The
that.
deadline was missed.
So we need to put one together.
Okay, yeah,
So I just say, for example, I think yours, it may have came like May something, I'm just using for example, but he had already did his thing, April 14th, and already, he was.
If I remember right, we sent that in and to the CFO, and the mayor and the CFO replied back that it needs to go to the council.
Okay, so, Mr. King, for the record, February 14th, 2024 is when we submitted the board's budget to be adopted. So.
Hold on. Let's be clear. That's when I prepared the budget. I sent it to Mr. King. Mr. King did not send it in. So we can't say we sent it to the administration at that time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Ms. Lowe. I'm sorry. I assumed on the 14th that.
That's when it was prepared. It had been adopted and prepared.
And I'm looking at the email that I forwarded to finance and Vicki Foster on March 14th was when I got the information forwarded to them, and it says the mayor was previously sent because the mayor proposed budget was sent to council on March 4th as the charter requires.
Yeah, and we discussed that at that time.
So yeah, it was on March 14th, that was the.
CFO replied back to us when we had that discussion that the budget had to be sent to the council, and it was sent to Ms. Lewis. And,
I'm telling you all about my grandchild here.
yeah, but,
So how much money was removed from our budget? How much money was removed from the budget?
She took it down to 250.
We asked her how much.
That it shows that we was looking to pay the official.
Wait, hold on.
Had it to be, we did it. And that if we show her that we're doing everything.
say the first number again. You said that. 375.
Judy amended it.
I got too many people talking. Hold up.
That's what it's gotta be.
Means is up here.
It could be more, but at least.
I have no idea what has been said.
Oh, we were talking about the rock bottom that the budget can be is 250. And that we were asking over and beyond the, minimum recommendation.
So that was my question. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Mr. Kevin. Question, Mrs. Little, what was, because I wasn't a part of the budgetary committee, so I didn't know what the office of the ombudsman itself requested.
About, I can't get the exact figure, but like she said, because she was on, it's about 374, 375.
So
And right now, I would have to check to see it actually, because they even got me confused on what was approved, because I did see the meeting where they wanted to cut it to the 250, saying that we need to show just cause that we were paying. That we want to spend the 250 before they give us the additional money.
So just to let you know, the budget that they passed was for your 250, even though on the screen it shows 375, but that's because the office has to pay into the city's pension. So it looks like it was an increase, but the 250 is still, from what I remember from the budgetary hearings, the budget is still 250 for the office, but the pension is what made it look like. That's why when they passed it at 375, but that's because the office has to pay into the pension, which means that if you had gotten your original 375, in order to pass it, it should have been 500,000. Because they've got to add on that 125 in order to go into the pension.
What was added to it from what I'm seeing is it was, instead of, because of, remember the Ombudsperson office is only one person.
Right.
So previously it was the 123,000, but it was 66,000 this time. Because they based it on one man show for almost 2 years.
All right, so repeat that again, please.
In previous years, last year it was $123,135. That's for the merged defined benefit pension.
Okay.
For this year's budget, 24-25 department request, they put it at $66,532 because they was basing it on just one person's getting income in there. So even if it's the office, if that's the case, if the office is eventually fully staffed, that won't even support that.
Okay. So the pension, so
they added 250 and 66, right?
Mr. Chair, can I make a motion that we establish a committee in preparation for this investigation, and that committee responsibility will be to collect data and information so that we can prepare for the hearing, because we can be here all night going back and forth on this.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second to form an investigative committee. Discussion.
I thought we already had an investigator.
I mean,
This is what's up
For some, this is a special, another special.
Okay.
So the members of the
So all in favor of having an investigative committee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we get to the front end. How do we form an investigative committee?
You appoint?
It's appointed by the chair.
You appoint, okay.
It's ad hoc.
Mr. Chair, I will volunteer to serve on that committee.
I'm asking volunteers. Yeah.
I'll volunteer.
I'll volunteer.
Harold, William, and Michelle.
And I volunteer, the whole board volunteers.
Well, let's just, if we volunteer, and make sure we don't show up for meetings.
No, it can't be.
It's gonna be some additional time.
So that's my, and Mr. King said
Mr. Harris.
So,
Ms.
I don't think we can That's a board meeting.
Yeah.
Joe,
We need more.
question,
Well, I don't think.
what's the limit that we can have on a committee to keep from encroaching on
No,
charter?
you're doing investigation, you're not doing investigating, it's not, you just investigate a problem, not a meeting.
Right, but.
You're not doing a decision, you bring it to the board.
But we're discussing city business.
Right, but wait, how large is this committee got to be?
What's your thought on that?
Wait, y'all talking to two different people.
Hold on. I asked Joe, what is the limit that this committee could be to keep from encroaching on charter where it becomes a business, a meeting?
Yeah, I think I would recommend for a committee of this nature, probably be 3 people. It's my understanding the other committees of the Ethics and Accountability Board have also been 3 as well.
Okay.
So who's on this committee?
You, Carol, and Joe. What's his name? Will.
So who is it? Michelle, Carol?
Michelle, Carol, and Will.
But it can only be, but Joe?
And who?
I thought it was William.
Yeah, I actually be honest.
He just.
So that's myself, Carol, and then Billy. And I think, Mr. King, you're an ad hoc member of all the committees anyway.
Yeah. XO.
So let me ask. I want to know what is the depth of this investigation that we're going to have? Is this meeting on a regular basis, or when we get information, and are we calling? And my thought is, are we calling them? I think we should call them before us and hear what they have to say because we have a certain amount of evidence or information based off the audio and video. So I'm thinking hearing their responses or whatever, their reasoning for what they're doing, and then go into an investigation, because what are you investigating other than the stuff we've already discussed? I think I guess it's a question of should we bring them before us first before we launch this investigation, and then are we meeting on a regular basis?
So I think that the committee needs to get together, and then we need to come up with what we can recommend to the board, the procedure that we're gonna follow.
Okay.
And that way everybody knows what the process is, what the expectations are, what the dates are, what the commitments are.
Okay.
So that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%. So, we're clear on that. We're gonna move on to the next topic here.
Wait a minute.
Do we have a time frame?
Wait, that's what how soon are we looking to meet, and what kind of time frame we talking about?
I'm not talking about, we just wanna move.
So can we say by our next board meeting, the committee will have gotten together, and at least we'll have something to present to the board?
Okay.
So will you be able to meet before the next board?
When is the next board meeting? What's the day? That's the end. Well, let's meet Sunday. After church, where we waiting from?
It's the next board meeting.
To set up the guidelines. We're doing them, setting up some guidelines.
Thursday of the month. And that way, in between that meeting, usually what happens, one of you guys say, okay, I'm going to go Wednesday, we start from there. So we reach out to the other 2, can you meet at this time?
So the committee will try to have a recommendation to the board by our next board meeting.
Yes.
That's right, so the board needs to pick a date when they're gonna get together.
No. The boards we're coming together on the 27th.
On the next regular meeting.
So the committee is gonna come together in between them, so that when we bring it to the. Yeah.
So like I said, one of you all
Not
pick
yet.
a date.
We'll get together and we'll pick a date convenient for us.
Right.
And so, okay, because I thought we scared talking about our meeting. Okay. All right, so we'll move to, and we'll make this short. There have been there's a rumor, there's some stuff going on, and I just want to address it. We're not going to get in discussions. I understand that there's something out there to sell of the city park. And about a charter, and I don't know how far they is into that about the challenge. I just want to make sure that we remind council The administration, that by the charter, the only way you can sell a city park is it's got to go for a public vote. And I want to make sure that, I don't know what they said they're going to do it, but we want to make sure that they realize that.
Yeah, they said they were doing it.
So I would want,
Can I read it, Mr. Chairman?
yeah, they agree.
Okay. Section 4-507 of the charter prohibit on sale of parkland. And it says, no city of Flint owned land which is in use as a park or was used as a park shall be sold, transferred, or diverted to any use unless approved by a majority of the electors voting thereon at any general or special election. A public hearing shall take place no less than 90 days prior to placing the issue on the ballot. So what that means is that it has to go before, you have to have a public hearing about this, about selling any kind of city park, whether it's current or whether it was decommissioned. It still has to go before a public hearing, and then it has to go on a ballot in order for the citizens to vote on whether we approve for the selling of this park or not. So we're just, Mr. King is saying, we don't know because we haven't heard anything, but we're just putting it out there that if this is the case, that per the charter, you have to have a hearing first, and then it has to go before the public in order to be voted upon.
Anyone else comments on that? We were doing letter reminding the city official what the charter said. Our next item on the agenda is complaint that we keep getting from elected officials and appointees. Most of the stuff we've been getting is council people getting council people. Appointees, they put out a lot of statements that shouldn't be. And it's something that the board, we need to address how we going to proceed in the future. And this type of complaint will seem like the time this board had up in politics where we shouldn't be. And if the council can't help each other, we're not here to do their job. At least I don't, that's my thought. And if you all, I'm open up for the board to chime in, whatever you think, what your idea is.
So I have a question. Who's supposed to investigate? I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying, Mr. King, and I do apologize. So who's supposed to investigate council members and the administration? Was that a committee that we created here on this board? Didn't we remove Ms. Shasta Little from that type of investigation?
I guess I got the same problem you got. So, I'm not here, you guys are here, so.
I'm gonna repeat it one more time. So my question is, who's supposed to investigate the council members in the administration? Because I thought at one point, we had removed Mrs. Little from that investigation. So who's responsible for that? Do we have a committee? Was that a committee made, or?
I think what you're saying is we have to do complaints. These are complaints that come in, and it's up to the board to decide.
But not the resident, I'm talking about complaints from like, people complaining about council members, or people complaining, the citizens are complaining about council members, the citizens may be complaining about the administration. Who is supposed to do that investigation?
That's
I thought we were.
Wait a minute, that's
You
us.
took it.
That's us, Mr. King.
Wait a minute, maybe I'm not hearing you right.
So,
I thought you said the residents, the council.
no, she's, Mr. King, so what she's saying is residents file a complaint about city council people, and then she's saying that who was supposed to initiate that investigation, and it's not Ms. Little, it's the board that investigates it. She just houses and receives the complaint. But if there is any kind of complaint against council or administration, the complaint has to be filed through the Ombudsperson's office. However, she doesn't do anything with it because she's not allowed to. The board handles all political complaints when it comes to those offices because the Ombudsperson has to try to remain neutral. So that's why the board does the investigation.
Well, how can council tell y'all what?
Okay. So,
Who
she let me chime in for a second. So my question is, I forgot. So, I remember in a minute,
Go ahead.
Part of the problem with the budget is we were supposed to be hiring an investigator. Okay, that's why she was supposed to be non-political, we were supposed to do investigations, and we were supposed to have an investigator that when those type of things arose, they can do a professional investigation, and because the budget is sliced so thin that the office can barely operate, how can we afford an investigator? Which is another trick to stop this office and this board from operating fluently.
Okay, now.
That would happen.
Now let me get back. Now the thing of it is what we have on the agenda is having complaint that we're getting from elected officials and appointees. They are filing complaints. It wasn't from the residents. That's what the discussion should be about. Now we got every council person is filing complaint against each other. We have some things that we had that we have received from people that it came to this board. That it should be. That is what the agenda is talking about. I understand. There's other things, but what are we going to do about, while are we taking complaints, all these complaints keep coming in, that I'm receiving in phone calls and email about this council person, I'm gonna file on this one, this council person files another one. And it just don't seem right that we need to be spending our time on taking care of their business. I got,
Let me tell you though. Give me another battle. Hey, so listen. It don't matter how many complaints they put in. Have them go through the proper channel of putting in a complaint.
Agreed.
But you gotta address the issue if they feel the need to put in a complaint through this office. That's all I'm saying. Shasta, she received a complaint. No matter if it's from council to council, or if it's a resident to council, or if it's, the administration to council, or council administration. You gotta go through the Ombudsperson's office, and she channeled it to where it needs to go. If it's something that she needs to investigate, she gonna get it investigated. If it's for us, we gonna investigate it. Right. It's just simple.
Well, how come they skipped over her when they had their hearing over this business? And it came on the council agenda.
So I tend to agree. Okay, so we don't want to engage in back and forth. But I tend to agree with what you're saying. The bottom line is our board is charged with investigating any charter violation. We're governed by the charter, the ordinance. If there's an allegation of a violation, one of the two of our agencies has to investigate. What I think Mr. King is indicating is we don't want to be babysitters over political banter between opposing parties, if you will. Because if it's not rooted in a failure to follow the rules or enforce the rules or equal treatment or charter violation or ordinance violation, it really doesn't fall under our authority. So I think that's what he's saying. He's not saying we don't investigate it. He's just saying it's getting to a point where they're just making complaints that to just kind of be tit for tat and back and forth. So we got to make sure the complaints are properly grounded for us to invest our time and resources in.
A lot of these things that are taking place, and I've talked about this before, and I hate to be cutting y'all up, but I got to do it by y'all mind is in the right space. I've urged y'all on many occasions, so all we got to do is look at the video. That's a few seconds. I have had my own board refuse to look at the video, okay? It don't take but a second to look at the video and pass the phone down or the iPad down and decide, oh, did you see that? I saw that, you saw that, we saw that. All right, let's take a vote. We saw that. Hey, now we already said we don't have the authority to give nobody no jail time. We only have the authority to make recommendations. But I think we scared to pull the trigger. Because when you look at that evidence and you see your friend or your favorite council person or whatever cutting up, and I'm gonna hold some responsibility, we turn a blind eye. If we're going to get ourselves governed and respected, we gotta at least be able to tell the truth and do the best investigation we can do. A lot of this don't even cost no money. It's just a matter of looking at the technology. And we have been failing to do that. And then saying, you know what, City Council, on such and such a day, just for example, Councilwoman Burns filed a complaint on such and such and so. The Ethics and Accountability Board reviewed the tape and we found that you violated charter such and so, what a charter, blah, 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 and bring them forward. I would think, because we talked about this, how we would process this. It ain't that hard. Bring them forward, see what they got to say. You still in violation. Is it a violation of the law? Is it just something that they acted unethically? Well, you didn't break the law, but you acted unethically. Oh, you did break the law. Guess what that means? You got to move across the street to the law. See, that's what we don't want to have to do.
That's right.
See, that's what you can't be, like I just said before, we can't sit in these positions and be no coward. I mean, you can't, because if it's happening and it's on tape, we can deny what's happening all we want. These people here, they see. Last night I was there. I saw. Several of y'all have been in the house. You've seen. So at this point, it ain't no sophisticated time-consuming process. It's a matter of being honest, ethical, and holding somebody accountable.
Because one question I do have is that there is a cease and desist letter that was written towards the council president. So would we have to investigate that? Do we question the council president? Why would an individual write a letter? We need more information. Like, why would somebody put that on the internet?
I'm not sure.
A cease and desist letter.
The cease and desist what?
There was some false information that was shared yesterday.
Do you have it?
The information?
Yeah, whatever was posted that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can go ahead. I was just wondering.
Oh, okay.
I can go
You
ahead.
have, I don't think.
She said she kept wanting to.
I would refer that to legal.
Was it a resident? Just can I get clarification? Was it a resident or?
You know what, I don't know who the person was, the individual. Right, I don't know the person personally or anything of that nature, but ATM Flint had wrote up a cease and desist letter because the council president had made some false accusation towards that individual. Understand?
Yeah, I would think that would be something that would have to do with legal. Yeah.
What, does it fall
Joe, what's your thought on that?
Does it fall within your ethics ordinance?
I don't know.
She said,
Does it
Does
fall within your
within
ordinance?
your ethics ordinance?
I don't know.
Well, I said the child, I don't.
Send it to them, maybe.
I would know what.
Send it.
I would say we refer to legal. Because
The minute I got ready to walk in here, I was still getting the
So,
documentation.
so she already got a complaint, so leave it there until she can't do nothing with it, and then bring it here if it got to
There's
come
already
here.
a complaint.
Is there a complaint about that?
what are we talking
Okay,
about?
I've received information today in reference to the cease and desist, letter that came in. I reached out to the individual and to get a little more information. And as I was preparing to come in here, still information was coming in. So I was, and this is the God honest truth, as I was preparing my packet on my printer, this is, I'm not just saying this, that I was going to blacken out what needed to be blackened out. My printer jammed, and I couldn't get the packet together, and that is God's my witness. And so, in order for me to be able to break it down and look, I knew I needed to look over it myself before I even gave it to you all and said, take this home. By the time the next meeting comes, it's be like, okay, did you have the chance to review it? But without me knowing the gist of it, I was going to present it to you all later. Not send it to your personal emails or anything, but I wanted to give it to you. And you know how we said we were going to discuss complaints and stuff. I hadn't had the opportunity to do the, because they do want to kind of, as far as it being the 810 media, that's no problem. But the individual person wants to be anonymous with it.
Okay.
And as up to the meeting, I can show you the wrinkled paper.
Well, it's okay. As long as we know that you have it.
Oh, yes, I have it, and I will get it to you. I just want to be able to present it in the proper.
Yeah,
And
just make sure
can I
it's
say
good.
this real quick? Because ATM Flint and ATM News Media
That they're different.
is two separate.
See, and I wanted to make sure
Who's,
that
so
also.
who's
when I
filing this
received-
complaint?
I wanted to make
ATM
sure.
Flint.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure
gonna
that also,
recuse
that's why I
myself.
asked them to identify themselves to me, be anonymous, so that I wouldn't be trying to say AT&T Media or Ms. Hall or any of them.
But my question still is legal. Is when you check and see the weaver, is even, can we
I
even
would
do
say
that on the child?
allow your ombudsman to follow the process.
Okay,
Yeah, allow the ombudsman to follow the process, follow your process.
okay.
And that's for her to redact what needs to be redacted, and then she present it to us. And then once we look at when we look at what it is, then we know to pass it on to legal and say, okay, is this within our purview to act?
And see if it's in your ordinance.
Right, I got
Because
it.
once I got it, it came to the Ombudsperson's email. So once I got it, I acknowledged that it had been received, and I need additional information. So they were able to, and they were, again, as I came to the meeting, they were still sending stuff, so.
Okay, that's fine. So that's the question. Okay, so we move on to the next topic.
That was, I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
Go ahead.
No,
That's new business.
Wait, hold on. I still didn't get clarification about the investigation when it comes to council members and administration. So Mrs. Little is not doing any investigation. That's all on.
So just to give you clarification, when it's administration against council, or even council against administration, or if a resident files a complaint against either or, she's the keeper, she holds it, she formulates it, she gives it to us, but outside of that, that's it for her office. And then whatever decision we make, Trishelle would write it up, send it to Ms. Little, and Ms. Little then would make sure that they get the letter. But as far as, her having any footwork, no, that's to keep her neutral.
Thank you.
You satisfied, Ms.?
Yes.
Okay, we move on to the next topic.
Patrick wanted to do with, I'm sorry.
EAB appointment.
Thank you, vacant appointments.
Oh, we got that.
But Ms. Little already,
That's be number 5 on there.
she addressed that already, didn't
Right.
you? You sent the city clerk
Yes,
email about those appointments?
for the, Human Relations Commissions and the EAB, yes.
You sent it to the clerk or the council?
I sent it to all of them. I sent it to the clerk, and I sent it to all.
Please keep, because I know that was
I sent it, and I CC'd Mr. King too.
yeah, because I know that was an issue.
I wanted to make,
That
I
was-
sent it to every, I sent it to Davina, I CC'd the ward to the city council, and I also CC'd, Mr. Harris, I may have CC'd you, but I know I CC'd Mr. King.
That's also,
I definitely wanted to make sure that.
that was also an issue that was brought up at the budgetary hearings that was, I'll leave it alone. I'll leave that alone, but that issue was brought up at the budgetary meeting.
Yes.
But, no, do me a favor, again, Ms. Little, make copies of all of the communications that you have between yourself, city clerk, and the council, and just make sure that, the board stays on, we're still CC'd on that information so that we can continue to see your correspondence and trying to reach out to fill these positions.
Okay.
Well, the third board,
I
They
think also, Mr. Jones, you do not have the floor.
no, but let me go.
Hold on. I think we should also, on behalf of the board, write a letter to each council person, as well as the mayor, regarding the necessity of these appointments in order for us to really have a fully functioning board.
I agree.
Because the workload is falling unequally on a few of us, and we're losing members by the month. So we really need those appointments. And I know she sent in an email, but I think we should send an official correspondence and ask them to make an appointment, or at least an effort at an appointment, within the next 30 days.
I think you get that out.
If it's okay. Per the charter.
And we would do that. 'Cause we also got to remember, too, we got to find the clerk. That is the clerk's job. So, make sure it do. So that's what I want in the discussion, but that comes under responsibility of the clerk.
So move. So move. Is that a motion?
So moved.
All right.
Well, support.
Second.
Pull up here.
I'm sorry, Mr. King, it's 8:18. So,
It's the letter, the motion is by Mr. Julian for the board to write the letters to the council persons as well as the administration to make the appointments within a reasonable amount of time.
I accept that. I think it's needed, but I can accept that.
right,
And it was made by Mr. Julian and supported by myself.
that's good.
And voted on by all y'all. I didn't, because I didn't know what you voted on.
And Mr. Chair, it's also, they have a duty to make their appointments
They do.
to this board. And so that's why I think it's important that we ask them to make it within a reasonable time frame, because failure to make the appointment is gonna also be a problem that we can follow up on.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I was just stating that is the duty of the clerk, but if we gonna help, we do whatever we can to try to get the board together.
It's the duty of the clerk to keep them informed, but council still has to bring this forward.
So we'll go to,
Yeah.
there was an add-on, gentleman.
Underage.
No, that one is dealing with,
The age.
Matthew.
No. That was after. Billy made she asked for an amendment because she wants to.
I have it here, it's the second one on here.
Her,
I got it as number 5 here.
but Doug was after that one.
I really understand that myself.
Okay.
We're not gonna.
Okay, so we'll talk about that.
And we had a lot of talk from the resident, from Mr. Matthew,
Did he say what he said?
and he has some words, but I have some, and I tell the board, I have filed police report with the city. I'll probably file one with the sheriff department, file one with the state police.
You think?
What Mr. Matthew What?
You know what he's talking about.
What Mr. Matthew is, and I agree with what he's wanting to say, but it's complete out of hand, and he have a, I don't know if he got some kind of
Mental issue.
love affair with me, he got, I don't know what it is. Let me finish up here. Now, what I received, he put out this morning was a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to Eric King.
ECC.
Attorney Skillen was saying, Mr. King.
I'm saying to ask your city attorney what to do, because this is not the first time that public officials are being harassed. So there's probably some standard process to follow, or something that has been done in the past. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Okay, well, I was going to leave he did some stuff this time with Eric King in the county. He had linked to me and all the information, all the mortgage, transfer of property, forfeit, all that stuff he put out there, and he's linking, now he's linking like it back up to me. And I only have 4 kings in Genesee County that related to me. But I got a whole list of stuff here. And personal information of mine, I don't have a problem with. But when he started linking me with stuff, and I started looking at names, now, I don't know who, because most of them, I look at their names, they're not black. I don't know what they magnet, I don't know what their skin is, I don't know whatever they are. But I'm not gonna deal with that. Now, I gotta deal with some of the other stuff. So, I'm close to 100, I am. And I don't feel like spending the last of my time locked up. But he put me in that position. What I want.
I don't go ahead, Mr. Gordon.
No, if it got serious to me.
I know, no, I agree.
I'm gonna do something to stop it. I would do what I do. I do what I do legal. But I'm not.
But
This is something I
have a question. But this is my question, because yesterday we had our city attorney was in the room when his behavior was out of control. He made sexual remarks to an audience member, as well as referred to the people in the back, allegedly as niggas. Or niggas.
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Bring that up there. I was just pretty much. First stuff that you all get out of here.
But I'm just concerned because we had an attorney in the arena. So
All of this happens.
Give me the answer to that. I'm gonna give about a chance. And I look at, I had Harold hand up first.
I know, real quickly, I just want to get clarity. What did he say?
Nigga, nigga.
Wait, so he pointed to people and actually
Yes,
said
he
that?
did, and said, nigga. And then he went to the end to go sit down, and that's when I dressed him, because I don't know.
Y'all didn't cut up? They asked, was he
but he was so comfortable. He was so comfortable running and
Candace was.
yeah.
They were trying to get around him to protect him.
Candace is they all try to keep him still in there. And I told them they better get him on because I've been in that spirit.
We told him they feel safe.
Mr. King, we need to get back on track here. It's getting late.
But that's my concern, you know, what do our legal do when they're in the area, when they're in that space? And, these type of activities happen, and our council body, or our council members are supporting this type of harassment and this type of racial hatred.
But do we have jurisdiction over a resident at a city council meeting? I don't think that falls under our jurisdiction. I think city council has to handle that.
I mean, nothing that's said.
I'm just saying, I mean.
Nothing that's said rises to criminal. If anything, it's civil.
I mean, I get that, but I'm just saying.
But I'm saying, city council has to enforce those rules. We don't have, he's a citizen. You know, if we go back to what the charter mandate is for us, I don't know that we can do anything. The city council can, because it's happening at their meeting.
Thank you for this.
Because you can say nigga, you can say.
Now, I would say this, if it's clear evidence that happened, and it sounds like it is, and council fails to address it, then I think we have an issue there. But we can't do anything to Mr. Matthews.
Right, the citizens have to put out a PPO or.
But I do want to say this. I gotta say this. Because the police usually don't support us, but last night, they hauled that tail up out of there. I gotta give the Flint Police Department credit for that, because it was getting to the point where it looked like it was gonna be a riotous incited, and he said he refused to leave. He said, I have a right to be here. They told him, no, you have to go behind your behavior, you have to go, and they put him out. So I know we go hard on them, so I do want to acknowledge the fact that, in my mind, I think last night they finally did their job and protected the citizens.
Mr. King, man, I know we're about to adjourn.
I think that needs to be referred to. Again, that's council. That's a council. I was ready to put out and name and all that. That's not us.
Next item on there, we will, anyone want to chat in on while we go into this?
So, Billy, we still had your addition of the age or disability as it relates to who can be put out of the council meeting?
Correct.
And I think we can refer that to legal for information, but again, that's a council issue. That's again, they need to define their rules and follow them. So, our issue is if they have a rule and they're not enforcing it, or there's some type of lack of impartiality or, something of that nature, but we can't tell them you can't put out, a minor, especially if a minor is with an adult that's getting put out. So I think legal can give us an opinion on that, but I really think that's under the city council jurisdiction as well.
And that just becomes a complaint because the council person did it. I do not just talk to
Question. For also on discussion, I don't know if this is under our purview or not, but I do want us to, for the next agenda item, for next meeting if possible, if we can deal with the city clerk and the closing of all of these precincts, because a lot of precincts were shut down. And a lot of people, and I've heard complaints from a lot of citizens because a lot of people don't want to drive the 2 miles that it takes for them now to go vote at a new voting precinct. And I don't know if it's under our purview or not, but it would be something that I would like for us to discuss at the next meeting to see if that does fall under our jurisdiction, could we get some questions on that? Yeah, I'd like to make a request of the clerk.
What's the request?
I would like for the city clerk to come in and to explain the reasoning why she reduced the number of precincts in the city to where it's at. Due to numerous complaints from residents.
Just so I can go back, was that a referral, Billy, that you wanted on the age and disability issues? Did you still want to refer that to legal for information?
I do, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Joe, you got that?
I got it.
Thank you. All right, and then, Mr. Harris, what you're saying is we want to send a request for Ms. Donahue to appear and explain the rationale on reducing the number of precincts due to the number of citizen complaints received.
Yes.
Okay. And absent an objection, that can be done, Mr. King?
Because I was moving around the corner, now I gotta drive 2 miles to my next place.
One other request I have from legal is,
And I'm not lying on that one,
as I get close to nobody hear me. My request for legal is on this Matthew thing.
And looks, I don't know, that's what I need clarification on.
Is how do we, any correspondence that Mr. Matthew, and I don't know how we do that legal, how we get it to him, and had to come to the legal department. At this point, I think of a legal issue. Getting there, about a house, or any members here, and I have a problem with that. I don't know how to.
Mr. King, you have a problem with what? I'm trying to keep the record and I can't hear you.
Yeah. I have a problem with Mr. Matthews, the stuff he's sending out. I was had to send out a deceased. System deceased, whatever you got it. So, but it have an owner just me, he just have a thing with me, but I'm another board member. I'm sure I know at least one other board member that filed a police report on him, and I don't know what kind of mind this guy got. And a correspondent from you on how I want to go to the legal department from him, because I'm not, we shouldn't have to deal with it. He's got a deranged mind, I don't know how, what it is.
Mr. King, may I? All right, quick, just to support you. For the record, Frida Williams, that was one of her issues on resigning, was when Mr. Matthews appeared at her house and dropped that letter in her mailbox. And
Which is a violation in and of itself.
Which is a violation of itself. And she said not only, she said it affected her husband, it affected his health. She said it affected her health. And she has, her 13-year-old granddaughter lives with them as well. And so that was one of the reasons for her resigning. What was because of what he did. There's nothing we can do.
And Joe, he also, Mr. Matthews sent an email, I think it was today.
Yes.
He sent an email to everybody on the board concerning Mr. King. Okay, so I don't know if you were on the chain, but if you weren't, I'll forward it to you.
I wasn't originally, but I just got it.
Okay, you have it, okay. Concerning his issues with Mr. King.
Yeah. And you always keep me in line. That's what I'm trying to get him to keep me in line. I have other things. So I'm not. He need a PPO. Yeah. Lord, I would say the motion. So move. We adjourn.
I'm gonna send out an email. Okay, everybody can use it on.